Why am I rolling initiative?
I'm not hearing you at all now.
Oh, me? Oh, well, that's unfortunate. And she's gone.
Like every 4 or 5 sessions, it just doesn't. Discord doesn't work anymore.
It's because she's on Apple.
I don't know that that's wrong.
I'm just gonna blame Apple until she decides to switch.
It's not a thing you can just arbitrarily.
So is you.
We did have good success going through a iPad and just using the
Just
iPad just for Discord.
random laughing in the soundtrack.
Fine.
Testing, testing.
That sounds human.
Okay.
Ooh, keep talking.
So what just happened there?
It's still. After you said testing, it stopped working.
What?
Let's
What are you telling me to do?
let's get you hooked in through the iPad.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know the solution. I guess.
Oh goodness.
How do I sound, guys?
A lot better.
Better.
Okay. I guess we're just gonna do this through my iPad.
If it works.
Let me know. It does not sound different to me. So please let me know if there's a sound problem.
I wonder.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds super great.
Not lighting up on Discord. So I can't tell.
I have some troubleshooting ideas because of the recurrence of this happening. That it might. Memory.
We also have never really tried it with a different headset.
We tried it with mine, but it's the same brand.
Yeah.
You get a new one. Okay, all right. Chapter 2 now. Somebody give me a very concise summary for a hero point.
We found Bolin. Bolin gave key to somebody else. Now we gotta research.
Somebody else seems to be vaguely Fey-ish and from like the Thinlands thing. Which is up on the western portion of the what's it called? Wood to the that's I think to our north-ish. Yeah, that one. And we're basically going to do a shitload of research trying to figure out how best to go and get the key. I believe.
Yeah, hunting and tracking.
And we need the key because the guy's going to potentially use it to reactivate some kind of curse.
The omnipotent curse?
Nibulet.
Yes, the omnipotent.
Omnibulant.
Curse,
Close. So close.
which is a really, really awkward name.
Omnibulant. Yeah.
Yeah, omnibulant. I don't even know what that means.
It is a real word.
Oh god, the librarian doesn't know it? Fuck.
Google.
Not a
How
real
do I
word.
spell this? I
It's
can't
definitely
spell
a
it,
real
thank God.
word. It's probably related to Abulet, which is was like a French dungeon that had no doors or windows, a place of forgetting. But I don't know for sure.
I'm assuming I spelled this correctly. It's dark and dim
Oh,
or
it's supposed to
covered
be
with
French?
or as if with a
Or
cloud.
is that just the French
Obscure.
word for it?
Nibulet.
Huh?
Because I feel like a
Abulet?
lot of people throughout, medievalish history were a fan of throwing people into holes and just like sealing it up and forgetting about them.
That was the French word for it. There may have been words for it in other languages. I think they just called them dungeons. But they're French, so they're hoity.
So they're elven.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always felt like the elves and the French had a lot in common.
Mm-hmm. They're like, yeah, I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to put you in this hole and forget about you.
Yeah.
What happens, happens.
Which is actually much worse, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, started moving
Any.
around.
I didn't
I was
move.
testing.
For once,
Okay.
it wasn't me that
No.
was moving.
That was me. It was me. I'm to blame. I'm the problem.
I'm judging.
To quote the great philosopher Taylor Swift, the problem is me.
Here in the Arts
Okay.
Plaza are the two treasures that didn't get processed.
That's right. We hand waved. Yeah, we totally went around and grabbed them. Ooh, a guitar. Wait a
Too bad
second.
nobody's a bard. This is like a whole bunch of instruments.
Oh, it's a bass.
Is one of us supposed to be a bard? My God.
Well, they were gnomes and they had like a little stage set up. So it's not that some of you are supposed to be bards. It's that they had a lot of handcrafted instruments that.
We basically
We
stole.
stole.
Well, yeah, no, you
Oh.
didn't steal them. The gnomes told you that you are welcome to take anything you want from the house that can help you.
And we're like, ooh, instruments. We can
Yeah.
start a band.
I feel slightly bad.
None of you being bards are having any training in performance, I think, across the board.
I don't have performance
Party
training.
skills. Performance is not on the list. Nobody's trained in performance. You weren't able to really deduce if these things were or weren't valuable, so being the party gremlins that you are, grabbed everything.
That's fair. We weren't
Yoink.
specific.
All these things.
Oh, yeah, that's all right. Let's identify the sipping juice. It's just going to be straight booze.
The sip of juice, you have the ability to eventually deduce that it is of supernatural qualities.
Wait, supernatural in terms of elixir or magical?
It radiates a magic aura.
Okay.
Which, if you spend an hour.
Well, absolutely spend an hour.
Speaking of time, it does take 2 days to get back to Seven Arches, so we will begin this adventuring day on Oath Day, the 12th of Abadius. January.
The 12th of January. We just gave up.
Teriani, you were not able to. Neither one of you can figure out what this.
But I have a +8.
You do have a plus.
So do I.
No, like both of you, like it must be reassuring if two people fail, but because like, oh, clearly this must be something of significance. It's
We not just take this to somebody?
well, yeah.
Yeah, but we'd have to pay someone to identify it, and I'm not going to pay someone else to do something that I can do.
Well, it's definitely.
But you can't do it.
It's definitely
Okay.
mixed with.
Let me try again tomorrow.
Yeah, Lycaena, you are confident that it is a lesser healing potion.
So either I rolled really badly or I rolled really well.
So that has been.
I don't think lesser healing potions are alcoholic.
It might have been adulterated.
I mean, they are if you mix them with a beer.
So for the purposes,
I mean, that's fair. There's also many kinds of lesser healing potions.
If you're
And like, if you're a follower of Cade and Kaelin, I bet all your healing potions are alcoholic.
and I am. All right,
Well,
well,
I'm not a follower of
I'm
Kate
going
and
to mark
Galen.
this as identified. For your sake, you believe it to be this.
Not suspicious at all.
No, that's not concerning.
That in the trash. There are two of them.
What kind of alcohol?
Like a cider, like a fermented kind of.
Oh, that's very
I'm down for
gnomish, isn't it?
cider alcohol.
I'm here.
Oh,
It goes with the jug band.
What's up? We have a cider.
Oh. you're not a lot. You're not dead. That's good.
Lane's was fucking bussin'.
Because they were closed last week.
Yeah, probably.
We got to combine your game and my game so that we just all go to lanes and then come to my house.
It's a lot of people. I don't know if Pathfinder Math can handle 8 players.
We'll just mush some of them together into the same people.
Maybe.
It's like and that math is like 2 fucking extreme encounters. Turns out to did you position poorly? Good job. Now that one person is getting attacked by 2 player level plus 2 monsters.
Chain reaction that just falls apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're definitely not using like. You definitely wouldn't throw like 2 monster or 3 monster encounters at it. Something
Unless they're
you'd
really
throw
big
like
monsters.
4 or 5 monsters. Well, I mean, the problem is that they're big enough monsters. They'll just fucking one shot whoever they target.
Yeah, because
Well,
like
that should be them.
big monster action economy means that if 2 big monsters are facing one person, the group math versus this guy's fucked math do not line up.
But if you run like 5 or 6 monster encounters, I think it's probably fine. But I think combat would be tedious as fuck.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I found that for the most part, Pathfinder 2 combat rolls a lot faster than 5e combat,
Mhm.
and that's generally like 5e math. It's just like I don't know, throw a bunch of goblins in there.
Mhm.
Okay, with the
Oh,
instruments,
I think that's because 5e is actually pretty sloppy.
Oh, it absolutely is sloppy, 100%.
Like it doesn't. They don't think it's. They don't like people talk about it like it's not sloppy, but I feel like people talk about it that way because they don't actually know what a clean system looks like.
Yeah, I've learned in my time that 5e players huff a lot of copium as a reformed 5e player.
Like,
I
and
rolled
I
a
don't have anything
20. I could
against
do what I
5e.
want.
Like I think it's a perfectly fine system. It's just it's a rules light system pretending not to be a rules light system.
Yeah.
No.
And
It's a
that's-
crunchy system where half the rules are just gone.
Right, that's what I mean.
Why?
Like, so it's become a rules light system by default, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like, just admit that's what you're playing.
Adam, why does your game hate Firefox?
I don't know.
It doesn't hate Firefox for me.
Weird. Because
Maybe
I can launch my game on Firefox and it runs fine. I was able to run Abomination Vaults on Firefox and it's fine. But if I put yours into Firefox, it just doesn't work.
it's probably a security certificate because I'm self-signed.
Mine actually didn't even acknowledge that at all.
Yeah, like it loads up. I make a connection. I just don't get anything. It's all black.
Because I load, but it says connection not secure.
Mine says tabletop, which I believe is made in Chromium. Okay, so
Oh, Nick missed the summary.
yeah, shopping around to assess the value of these instruments. Best offer that you get in town here is for the lot of them 30 gold.
I feel like that's a pretty good deal, honestly.
I don't know anything about instruments, so sure.
I mean, I don't have a good understanding of the scale of Pathfinder economy.
I don't think any of us do. I don't think Pathfinder does actually.
Um,
I always remember that adventure economy and like normal citizen economy are 2 entirely different things.
Amen.
okay, so finding no objection. Those things.
Yeah, unless
Wait a
somebody's
minute.
secretly a bard and they haven't told us. Is anyone secretly a bard and hasn't told us?
No.
Kirik's a bard at heart, but his anger won't let it out.
He's
Khali
a bard
likes
with
the funny.
anger. He's the bard with anger. He's the bard with anger management problems.
No, child.
He's
Child
the
is
theater
great.
kid that was bullied too much for being a theater kid. So now he's angry and hates theater.
Meta.
That explains his edginess.
Meta.
Just assuming.
All right. Lemma, who is your contact in the Oak Stewards, after thanking you for bringing Bolin to justice, he is going to sit in the cell of the Vine Hall for a little while until they really decide what to do with him. Is very concerned that the Shade Wither key is still out in the field.
Well, so
Yeah,
are we,
we'll
but
figure it out.
you know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if you realize this, but my pointy ear says I have a vested interest in making sure this doesn't happen.
Right. She has 4 suggestions on places that you could possibly start pulling strings on. All of these are going to be like day-long kind of arbitrary skill checks that we will kind of unpack as we decide to do them.
Can we have a training montage?
Kinda, yeah. We'll do training
It's a
montages.
research montage.
It's a research montage. So the most montagey of them is going to be spending time in the Quaking Stacks, which is the local library of druidic lore.
That was my entire plan.
She doesn't
Was
have
your entire plan?
Yep.
spending time.
My entire plan. I had no other plans. I have no social skills, so I'm going to leave the rest of it to you guys.
Yeah.
My plan is crafting.
Investigating in the Quaking Stacks. Alternatively, there is going to the farmsteads and homes in the Thinlands directly. It is a several-hour walk away, so you could go there, do investigations, and come back to Seven Arches and meet up in the scale of a day. Each one of these checks is going to be in the span of a day, and it's arbitrary of several hours. So going to the Thinland farms and doing any kind of interviews and or physical research there. There is a farmer who was recently attacked by Gorgas, those shadowy creatures that escaped and survived just a few days ago, who you could potentially interview. And there is a spot where a tradesperson was attacked and pretty severely mutilated, as well as like her entire cart and her pack animals on the road a few days before that the community has been steering clear of. And so, that is...
Well, that certainly sounds pretty promising.
That is another location for physical evidence to investigate. Alternatively, anything that you come up with or feel is more valuable to do with your time, such as crafting. Crafting is going to be kind of weird because we all know crafting is terrible, and unless you have a month, it really doesn't save any money. But since this is an investigation that will take at least several days, you can potentially save a couple of silver. Because the way it'll work is you make your check, and then how good your check is gives you a daily discount. You're going to at minimum pay half of whatever you normally would be, and then the other half you discount up to 100%, depending on how many days you're able to continue working on it.
Oh.
I thought they had new crafting in the new player core.
They're not new. They're just like they tightened up the language.
Oh, okay.
And when you make consumables, you do them in batches of 4. So if you're like, I'm gonna create elixirs, you'll spend a day getting ready, and then the rest of it is just how long does it take to make 4 of these.
Yeah, the big advantage is it's a method of earning income at level, which is kind of meant to be an uncommon thing.
If you choose to earn income, you have a relatively positive relationship here with the Oak Stewards. So you would be invited to potentially do tasks of up to DC 4. Or not 4, but level 4.
Level 4. Okay.
Um,
But us being level 2, I won't keep up with that.
yeah, and you can choose a task that is higher than your level if you so wish. Etc.
I would suggest that we focus on solving our current problem.
Right. Lemma also says that since you've been gone, they have secured the 7th Arch, that plaza where you fought the unicorn, and that the shadowy aura is still there and is still very slowly encroaching through the woods. Her theory is that, beforehand, Bolin was pulling, and whatever is on the other side is pushing. But with Bolin pulling, it's with Bolin's side of it removed, it's still happening, but at a reduced pace. But still, it's not stopped.
We should probably get on that at some point.
So, not to necessarily put you in a spirit of you have to go solve this right now, but there is an impending sense of
Doom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess that means our loose plan. It's something on the other side of the gate.
It
So
seems.
I guess.
Yeah, it seems it's not necessarily on the other side of the gate, but it is emanating from the gate, and it's not like it doesn't seem like the gate is active, but that's like the focal point of where Bolin was doing his part of the ritual.
Yeah, I mean the connection's still there, so there could conceivably be something using the connection in a less than standard way.
Yeah, the
So
shade.
we
Yeah, we just don't.
probably need the key to
The
flesh it
shade.
out.
Yeah, she is explicit with you that the Shade Wither key is the gate key for that arch.
We don't have, I think, enough information to know for sure what's going on one way or another. But I think it seems reasonable to start from the base assumption that we probably need to figure out sooner rather than later, right?
Yeah. Let's check out that weird place that people were avoiding first.
Well, but before you necessarily commit to going anywhere or I don't necessarily think it is a terrible idea for you to split up and handle these independently.
Okay.
I will give you.
I was worried we were just going to get murdered.
Yeah, I'll give you out of character assurance that if one of you wants to go to the library and another one wants to go to interview the guy,
There won't be sudden combat.
there won't be sudden combats while you're alone. The benefit,
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah, the benefits of sticking together is that multiple of you are allowed to make the relevant checks in that location if they come up. The distinctions of the locations is some investigations, like the crime scene. A crime scene, not a crime. He got attacked by fey creatures.
Well, that is a crime, but
calls for different skills than, say, spending hours going lore in the Quaking Stacks.
all right. Well, who wants to spend hours going through lore in the Quaking Specs?
Definitely not Kirrik.
I'll do it.
Teriani is on book learning.
Rachel,
mean-
you're the only one of us who does not have their character appearance as a one-word description. I want you to know that.
Should I have my character appearance as a one-word description?
Khali's appearance is fluffy, mine is edgy, and Teriani's is sexy.
What?
You
When
do
did this
have-
happen?
I don't know.
Mine happened since the beginning.
Yeah, mine's been to edgy since the beginning. I just happened to, I saw the scales of the gold piece count. I clicked on it wondering if it would show me what people have in their inventory, and I just saw fluffy. I'm like, that's funny because mine says edgy, and I clicked through everybody else's, and Rachel's the only one who does not have a one-word description.
Where do these
Well,
exist?
I don't have a one-word description. Where is this?
It's
On
under
the-
the appearance tab on your character sheet.
If you
Yeah,
if you open up
Do I need
You
to
open
add
up
one?
It would be funny.
Oh, I
If
see.
you go
It's
to
under
party,
biography
if you
and
go to
party.
party, you can click on somebody's name on the side, and it'll open their sheet to the appearance and like bio section.
Oh, appearance. Okay.
Hey, that you-
Yeah, me and Lycaena are the only ones who have heights listed, though.
That's true.
Hey.
It is a self-description, so it might not be everybody else's opinion.
like able to. It's like a
All right, I added.
That's not an appearance. You don't look silent.
she's one of the quiet ones. All right, so I'm gonna use some of this tree space. Draw.
I would argue you can't look fluffy either. Like fluffy is a texture.
You can look fluffy.
You can absolutely look fluffy. Things are described as fluffy. It is also a texture. I'll give you that, but it is definitely also a description. In fact, somebody commented on my I am Knuff sweater and commented on how warm and fluffy it is.
Ooh, off of appearance? Nice.
All right, so these are the 3 or 4 locations that can be investigated. I think, yeah, Khali, you were going to, rather than do this, try and get some potions.
If it's only gonna save a little, it might honestly be better for me to just help with research. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't-
crafting is not really super fucking worth it.
Not
like-
from a financial standpoint.
Yeah, because you make a crafting check as if you're earning income, and you work off that much per day after 3 days, and you still have to pay half the cost no matter what.
Well, so
Mhm.
let's do a test roll so you can see what that is. You open up your character sheet and you go to your crafting menu, and you go to your list of known formulas. Click the hammer. It'll roll dice.
It might be worth it for lower level formulas that don't have a super high gold piece value, I guess.
I think the
Got
lowest
it.
gold piece value is 12.
Yeah, that's still. I mean, that could be doable depending in a couple days, depending on
So,
your.
like, if I were to, let me just roll this.
Okay, so
That was almost a 20.
yeah. So what it means is,
Oh god, yeah, a whole month.
yeah. So it would be a whole month to make it for just 8 gold. But what you can do is every day that you're able to work on this before the group says, okay, time to go,
Mhm.
is 3 silver off the total cost.
Okay. But that's not gonna be a lot, because we're probably only gonna be here for a week or 2.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, you save a gold every 3 or 4 days, 3.5 days.
Yeah, I guess the question is, would you rather shave off like 3 gold off that price, or do you think your time is more spent researching, more valuable spent researching?
I don't know.
This
Can I
is,
get opinions from everyone else?
I mean, unless we strive for cash, I don't think 3 to 4 gold makes a difference.
I mean, I
Yeah,
have
I
like
kinda-
30 on me, so almost
I
40.
tend to agree, but I don't want to like if you think it's what your character would want to spend their time doing. I don't want to be, the person who says you shouldn't.
I mean, I could technically use my daily regents to give us all elixirs that would help us to some extent from my list already,
Yeah,
instead
yeah.
of making stuff.
yeah, this kind of crafting is like actual real items.
Hmm.
The real benefit of crafting is less about saving money and more about, like, you don't need to rely on a shop to get the thing you want.
Right, yeah. If you have the formula for a 12th level item, but the highest level to village or whatever you have is 10th, then you can at least make it yourself.
Yeah.
Which can be really useful in
over-
certain circumstances, particularly if you're in the wilderness. or
over
whatever.
6 months. And not after this chapter, but after the next, there will be an opportunity to have several weeks of downtime to, if you want to stock up on stuff.
Yeah. It's just kind of the way adventure paths tend to be structured. It's usually not worth it.
Well, I don't know. In my opinion, adventure in general, because unless you deliberately plan out months of downtime.
That is a thing in the Harry Potter one, the school. I forgot what it was. what the adventure path is
Yeah,
called.
the one that I refuse to play because it reminds me too much of my actual job. Yeah, that one.
This investigation segue montage is, in my opinion, explicitly an opportunity to try and get a batch of crafting done at maybe not half cost but quarter cost or three-quarter
Okay.
cost.
Yeah, quarter off.
I mean, I think what we're all coming down to, Sarah, is if you want to do it, everyone supports your decision.
Mm,
And it's up to you whether or not that makes the most financial sense or not.
okay. I
Yeah,
guess I'll
'cause, like,
probably just help
When
with.
when you really come down to it, I think it's what your character would prefer to do.
Kali likes books. Kali also likes potions. Therefore, Kali's probably gonna go with books in this one specific instance.
Just wanted to check out the
just,
line.
just keep the books and the potions separate, okay?
But that's no fun.
Lycaena, what are you feeling about investigating?
Well, Lycaena generally prefers libraries over anything else, because she likes the silence. The practical matter is, she's also the only one of us, I think, who has diplomacy at all.
I mean, I can
When
give you.
we have an intimidation, right?
Yeah, I have information.
So it seems like maybe she should be the
See-
one who goes and actually talks to people.
Yeah,
Well, the
Nick's gonna roll right on. Yeah, he's gonna roll
Yeah.
right up to the survivor and just start screaming at him.
yeah, the
Yeah, it would just be bad.
talking
Like,
to the survivor is something that is very clearly diplo oriented. Going to the town may or may not be. It depends on if you're, thinking, do you want to be like something like gather information, or are you just poking around?
Hey, are you telling me that I'm signing up to investigate man murder, not do man murder?
yeah, that's what we're saying.
Oh, well, fuck that.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
It's not man murder, it's man or murder. There was a murder.
Well, in that case, let's do a murder.
Let's do the murder. The murder is the
Let's
one,
not-
yeah,
not-
you were
not
investigating
any
the
murders.
scene of a Gorga attack. The town is going to the Thinlands. And
Gorga murder? Are they smart enough to murder, or do they just
They just
savage?
attack. I don't think they're smart enough to murder. Maybe I'm wrong. We might find out. I don't know.
so, Kirik's going to go to the Thinlands. Lycaena, you want to interview the man?
Yeah, I'll interview the man.
Khali and Teriani are going to tag team the Quaking Stacks. The two nerds.
Who nerd? Lycaena not a nerd. Whereas
really a nerd.
Kirrik is a theater kid that got bullied and hates theater. Lycaena seems like the theater kid that finds comfort in theater.
She finds comfort in silence. Have you ever been around theater people?
I don't know. I know a number of theater kids that are brooding.
She's not really. I don't really think of Lycaena as brooding. I just think she likes silence.
I mean, those two things are easily confused for each other.
That's true, but
Seven
I think it's more of a
Seven Arches Grand Library is one of the tallest structures inside the vine wall.
Are the stake stacks actually quaking? Because that's really not safe from a structural standpoint.
It was once a spiraling stone tower that tapers to a cone in the motif of like a snail shell. But it doesn't look like that was made by druids. It looks like it was made by elven wizards, and they are fans of their spiral iconography. The ruins of that original tower have been thoroughly taken over by a grove of magically treated and reared aspen trees. And the trees themselves have been carved and molded in such a way that they are themselves the shelves that hold collections of scrolls and leather-bound tomes, several materials that are written on birch bark, long strips of birch bark that curl themselves into scrolls.
That does not sound like it's very good for the longevity of whatever's written on them.
It's magic.
It's
You're
magic.
gonna unfurl them; they're gonna crack.
There are druid librarians who maintain the status
you.
and the grove, which you can see as you find your way in the place deep in the stacks here that the information may be directly stored in some sort of shared knowledge of the trees. And the druids who are managing it are doing some sort of communion with the trees as part of their normal business. Apologies if there's not enough information here. This is, after all, a branch location.
A
I'm not
branch
laughing at
location.
that. Not doing it. Not encouraging it.
I encourage it.
That's because you don't live with them, man.
Yeah, the attendant druid.
I live with his father.
He doesn't make puns
Well,
like I do, does he?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, Adam, look at the bright side. At least you come by it honestly.
Can't generate these genetics. The attendants, once you present your bark writ, are able to guide you to what they consider to be the most likely resources for, finding fey monster creatures. But I don't know if Rachel knows anything about how archives work. When you're just given a stack of box or a box of things that are like unprocessed, and good luck.
I do that to people sometimes.
So sorting through these materials is going to take the better part of all day, and I have some.
Oh no, skill checks.
I have
I'll
some.
click some buttons.
I got buttons for you here. So
In my defense, I always warn people before I do it.
Oh, good
I
God.
think we kind of asked for it.
any of these things.
Just pick our poison and click it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of roleplay
Yeah,
here
well-
because it's basically here's the library. This is the most montagey of it.
Well,
Yeah.
I could have rolled a 2.
Hold
Would've
on,
been
I'm
slightly
double checking
worse.
my lores really quick. Games and genealogy. Well, oh my god.
You're finding
Okay.
it extremely difficult to read these notes that are scribbled on literal tree bark.
Have you guys ever heard of the Dewey Decimal System?
Some of it involves like licking sap and like understanding the memories that pour into your mind.
Oh
That
god.
seems really unhygienic.
It's okay. People here had strong immune systems, and I'm fairly certain that hygiene is a lower priority when you can just get, poked by a cleric or drink a potion that just makes it go away.
So yeah, feel free to come up with good suggestions on why it is incredibly difficult to understand this library. Maybe better luck next.
There is random written interpretations in the Druidic language, but nobody can teach me, of course. There's a library for druids, right?
For druids by druids.
Yep. And those imagine writing
only.
little scrawls and what do they call the druid language again?
Wild song?
Wild song. All right. Lycaena, you are given the location of a farmer. You're given the name. His name is Pobble Mosby. He goes by Pa. If you.
Classic Mosby.
All right. And this guy is supposed to be. This guy was attacked.
He survived a Gorga attack. Not much more about
Okay.
that is known. He has been staying at home recovering his injuries.
Then I will, I guess, ask if I can speak with him.
He has a reasonably typical farmhouse in the area. He just lives, not even like an hour away out of town. But he's in a very small, conservative house. It's definitely not big enough to have what you would think would be necessary for a family, but people, as sprawling as the countryside of the River Kingdoms is, it eventually live in something more sizable, but it's a very conservative, small house in relatively good repair. And you how do you approach his house? He's got like a front porch, it doesn't seem threatening or unoccupied. You could very clearly just go up and knock on the door, or just potentially even let yourself
Yeah, I
in,
think
but-
she just knocks on the door like a normal person.
Yeah, as a normal person. You knock on the door, and there is I'll be right there. And then you hear kind of a loping, like the sound of somebody maybe dragging a leg. Eventually, opening the door. Guy.
And so what we know is that this man survived a Gorga attack.
Yeah, and he's like, don't. He's looking over your shoulder to make sure. What can I do for you?
Oh, that's the way to go.
My name is Lycaena. I'm hoping you can provide me some information. I was told by the druids that you were attacked by a Gorga. Perhaps.
So getting a look at this guy, you can see that he is clearly favoring a leg that,
right.
Yeah, it's been wounded up pretty bad, and he's also got some pretty not well done dressings.
Yeah, and then she will say, and perhaps I can provide some healing.
Oh, yeah, sure, come in. I was a terrible thing those 2 nights ago. Just heading home after selling turnips in town in Seven Arches. He attacked me. Dang beastly fiends. Attacked me and killed my mule. Oh, Shaylan. Barely got out of there alive. Had to run all 10 miles home. Beautiful. He, rants and raves about this, and he is very enthusiastic about telling you, kind of not necessarily conflicting, but he is clearly not a guy that is a good storyteller or was particularly aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But
can I cast a heal to take care of his leg?
You can. I'll give you some buttons about that. He's not in risk of losing hit points. It's just he needs some time and long-term care, which is very clearly potentially a medicine check. But here are all of your prompts. Diplomacy of coaxing him through the conversation, intimidation of bullying him into remembering, medicine to do that long-term care we talked about, and then perception to just kind of pick up on what he's talking about as he rambles on and on.
Well, I'll be honest. Lycaena doesn't actually have any medicine skill.
What? You're clearly this guy needs long-term care.
She usually solves problems with, here, let me give you a heal spell.
Something, yeah, this is also reconnaissance on what kind of problems are necessary in these locations too. At the end of any given day, you can read, hey, actually go talk to this guy. Oh, but success.
So how many of these can I roll?
1.
All right.
This is you talking through him and going over his story over the course of the day. But like clearly he knows he is like at the end of this it's maybe he can calm down. He hasn't been able to really express these thoughts to anyone. I could be like, giving this guy the right character.
Can I ask if he would be willing to let me come back tomorrow with a trained healer?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would super appreciate that. Please, yes. The
Are you allergic to cats?
I love animals.
Oh, good.
Here they use
Work
cats
out
in
fine.
hospitals these days for therapeutic reasons. Something about the purring.
Yeah. I don't know that she does that, but sure.
So he is somewhat raving in his descriptions of the attack and the creatures of him. He wanders back and forth between calling them demons or like skeletal beasts or even fae. He clearly has no idea what it was that attacked him. But the description that sticks with you is a skull dog with eyes like saucers full of night.
Sounds like something we've seen.
It sounds like something you've seen. It calls to mind the Gorgas that attacked you when you were on your way to the Seven Arch.
Is he able to give me a good sense of where they attacked him?
It was somewhere on the road between Seven Arches and his homestead,
Okay.
which is like 15 miles. So he's not able, but maybe with future future interviews he can remember more. He promises you that he'll try and remember more, that nobody's really asked him about it because people around here are so afraid of these shadow monsters that they think that I'm carrying some kind of curse. But I still got my shadow, so I think I'm gonna be fine.
Have they gotten worse, the shadow monsters, lately?
Oh yeah, all over the place. They took out poor Hatchery got killed days before I was attacked, and I hear that they're even threatening the Oak Stewards themselves.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah. Okay. Kirrik went to the Thinlands. Rip Kirrik.
It's nice knowing you.
We'll be alright. Kirrik can't die.
Traditionally, this is the epicenter of where the Gorgas have most activity. It is just a few hours walk to get there from downtown Seven Arches. It's short enough that you could go there, conduct interviews or investigation, and come back. It is a lonely, mist-shrouded place of these sodden farms that stretch pretty much from the edge of the Wildwood to Diamond Border. The residents are pretty close the windows when you walk around and don't seem to necessarily be forthcoming in information. And if you ask any direct questions of people, most of them speak to the older woman, I believe it's Chow. Choi. So if you're interested in that, that will clearly be something of a diplomacy check, but you can also investigate the locations around. Here are some posts to prompt that. And whichever one of these you do, you can tell me how you're doing it, what that means.
Let's see if I have literally anything of these. Yeah. Oh, no. Oh. This will all be untrained.
Nice. I was brought here to do violence.
I was told there was Gorgas here. I was here to kill Gorgas.
Oh, there's Gorgas here. Fine. I'll get you when you don't want to.
I'll talk to the lady. I'm like, the fuck? What's going on here?
I got a good art of her as well. Here's her. They have like a big barn that looks like it's been converted into a civic building slash church for whatever religious offices that need to happen.
Wait, are those her horns?
Maybe.
Just like poking through the hat? Looks like that's the intention
It
on
would
the
be
left
rude to
one.
ask.
It looks like it's attached to the hat on the right one.
Don't ask.
Okay.
When you
I
approach,
mean, do you really want to ask? Because it seems.
I kind of do. If my character were there, he would.
when you approach this woman, she very physically gives you some body language of her like spitting on the ground to her side, and looks at you with like a beg pardon. She does not look like someone who is particularly easy to talk to or forthcoming with.
I'm begging pardon.
Beg pardon.
Uh,
Reckon I seen you around here.
trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So, what the hell's going on?
Dangerous times, fella.
Wow, we're suddenly in the Wild West.
Suddenly in the Wild West.
Reckon you ought to move on if you don't want to get yourself killed in the woods.
Yeah, they already tried that. It didn't work.
Oh, survivor. Well, not much for you here then. Good luck. Hope to see you around. You survive the night.
Alright, yeah, I guess so. See you later. I'll sleep.
Fare thee well.
I guess you don't want any help.
Reckon so. We're good. Kindly.
Okay, peace.
All right. Day 1, there was 1 success.
All right.
Day 2,
It's gonna be a long.
13th of... So now that you understand the kind of problems you're wanting to do, Kirrik, the other things that you realized looking around this town is there's potentially a lot of physical evidence. You could poke around the woods, look for signs of the first world, that kind of stuff. That you were like, man, I sure wish I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
Lycaena, when you investigated this guy, you can tell that he is not at risk of death, but is somewhat delirious by the poor, it looks like, self-treating of his injuries. And someone more skilled.
So he needs skilled nursing. This is not I cast a high level heal spell and he's fine kind of situation. Yeah. So I will ask Khali if she's willing to come
Help him to life.
help nurse him, help him back to health, because I know that she has the
She really just thinks of people as weird machines.
Yeah, and Teriani and Khali.
Fine.
Yeah, Teriani and Khali, you weren't necessarily misunderstanding what you were supposed to do with the library. We could just blame your bad luck on the novelty of the way that they're keeping their records. Which is, you look at each other and you're like, druids, right? So, with that first bit of investigation, yeah, you guys can test and pull it up.
All right, I will continue the books.
And he stays on books. Khali, do you want to go see if you can interview that man better?
I can go and maybe not interview, but definitely heal him. Khali's not great at interview.
And what about our strong silent types?
Kirrik feels there's no need to go back to the Thinlands unless somebody who actually knows what they're looking at goes.
I don't know that any of us know what we're looking at.
Does anybody have survival or?
I mean, I have survival, but I'm busy with these books.
What were
I have
the prompts?
survival too.
Survival, first world lore,
busy with that
nature, and
name.
diplomacy.
Well, I have nature. Oh no, it's not trained. I have diplomacy.
Well, I'll try out the books one more time, and if this doesn't go well, I'll go to Kirrik's thing.
I don't have anything else to do, so Um. Yeah, none of these are. Yeah, none of these are things that.
We're just gonna be like cycling around different places because I have all the relevant skills.
I have
Probably.
nature and survival too, so
Yeah, you two are going to be cycling through all the relative things while the two silent types just stand there in case something attacks us.
We're going
Pretty
to
much.
stand there in silence.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no no wrong way to do that. And I do have some escape hatches if things get a little
Long.
long.
Okay. All right.
So you've got a plan for the next day.
All right. Give me my book lore.
Kirrik.
Oh, Kirrik and Lycaena still haven't decided where they're going.
Well, I mean, part of the while we are delegating what tomorrow's activity will be, I imagine you guys are staying in town somewhere. Kirrik, you're the kind of guy who is always looking for trouble and on guard, I imagine.
Yeah, pretty much.
Teriani and Khali are, going over absolute useless stuff that they found in your show. Like you guys are on like a higher level local lot. They're pretty sure standing on the edge of a building, not on the building, but like in the alley adjacent to a building, is this shadowy, slender figure looking up at you.
How far away is it?
He's across the street, about 3 blocks down.
Get him.
Yeah, Kirk's gonna go out there and be like, yo, what the fuck?
Are you just gonna jump down?
Jump out the window?
Yeah.
Do an acrobatics.
I'm good at this.
It is not difficult to jump out of a window and, kind of lower yourself down, and you hit the ground, making a point to never take your eyes off this guy because, he seems like the kind of fellow that can just disappear into the shadows when you're. And as you approach, the grin gets wider, and he steps back into the alley, breaking your line of sight.
Oh no.
And when you
And
come
then
around,
when I get there, he's gone.
when you get there, he's gone. Make a perception check.
What doth I perceive?
The post of the building that he was leaning up against, there is what seems to be like a fresh carving. It's just a bunch of angles that kind of more or less have like a humanoid shape carved into the edge of a wall.
That sounds occulty.
Okay.
Huh.
That looks occulty.
He's real Blair Witchy.
It's a pokey voodoo doll.
Are there any other Alaskan teenagers who watched that movie and just got really annoyed at the people for not doing basic survival safety?
I'm pretty sure most
was
people
that-
watched that
was
movie
that-
and got annoyed at the people for not doing basic horror survival safety.
I was gonna say that we don't have a lot of Alaskan teenagers in this call, but that's half the call. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
I was never an Alaskan teenager.
Oh, you didn't get up here till you were an adult, huh?
Pretty much. I mean, like 17.
That's a teenager.
I was,
Yeah, but like, I didn't. My developing teenage years weren't here.
I was an Alaskan teenager.
I was
They
too.
taught us
Right when
about
that movie
berries
came out.
and some basic survival skills and like how to make a fire.
Yeah,
and
it was
all
part
that
of
stuff.
school. We all did that too. Yeah.
Really?
It took me yeah. It took me a really long time to realize that was not just like a normal part of everybody's high school education.
Right?
Middle school. Like I remember
'Cause
leaving
my-
Alaska and being like, yeah, my favorite part of middle school was survival week. And everyone just looked at me like I had just said that the world moon was made of cheese.
I mean, I guess it makes sense considering Alaska, but
Yeah, they went over like it wasn't like it was like middle school was like berries to eat. It was how to make a fire.
building a shelter. Did you have to
boiling
build a
water,
shelter?
basic shelter.
We had to
yeah.
build basic shelters. We had to build a signal fire.
hmm Like,
The
here
Coast
you
Guard
go,
came
have
in
some
and gave us
leaves
a whole
on it.
talk about like stay on the beach, never leave the beach.
Yeah. We also got like bear migration patterns for that.
I was literally about to
yeah.
ask, did you get anything about bears?
We
Yeah.
didn't get bear migration patterns, but we did get what to do if there was a bear.
Yeah.
We absolutely got that. We got
be big, be seen, like
yeah, be
wear
big, be
bells or
seen,
like talk
wear
while
bells,
you're
talk
moving.
loudly. Yeah, always make
Yeah.
noise when you're in the woods. Never try to sneak past a bear. Like just make noise.
Mhm.
If you have to shoot one, don't aim for the head. Their skulls are really thick. So
Mhm.
aim for a
Really?
leg so it stops moving. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, it's not even just kind of thick. It's like
Yeah, it's like an inch and a half.
Good
Yeah,
God.
you're
And it's
you're not shooting
angled.
that with a gun that
Instead of bullheaded, it should be bareheaded.
Seriously, those things, their skulls are, yeah, no. My
Yeah.
sister, when she was a field geologist, she had to carry a 45 revolver.
Even that probably wouldn't pierce a
No,
skull.
it wouldn't. For insurance reasons, the insurance company wouldn't insure her unless she had a minimum 45 revolver, and she didn't own one, of course. And learning to shoot on a 45 revolver is ridiculously expensive because the ammo is so costly. So my dad ended up sending her a little 45 size revolver that he had that was retrofitted for doing for shooting much smaller rounds, so she could practice and not burn through super expensive ammunition in the process. He barely passed her certification test.
If you know someone with if you know someone, because the expensive part of those is going to be like the brass and the powder, because like a chunk of lead on the front. So if you know a gunsmith, like he can make like partial
That
filled
would
rounds.
suggest that my sister is a much more gun savvy than she actually is.
That's fair.
Hey.
I mean, I love her. I love her to pieces, but she's not super duper gun savvy.
Speaking of to pieces, Kirrik, this guy has apparently vanished despite your best efforts.
Wait, which guy? Oh, the thin guy.
Smiley
Gotcha.
man.
Smiley.
I don't think about it as a guy. So
Bro, he's not a guy. He's just a force of nature.
a monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
He is something that we need to solve by stabbing.
Yeah, you can
Slenderman.
return to your
Carrot.
Do you let anyone know about this?
No, he just jumps out the window.
Yeah,
We're
and
like,
I'll,
what?
the next time I have access to a pen and paper, I'll recreate what I saw, the drawing.
Well, and remember, you're the only one that saw him at Boland's compound.
Am I the only one who's seen him at all?
The only one in the party that's seen him.
You're fucking haunted, man. You're gonna die. It's like the little girl. It's
I
gonna
was
skip towards
about
you and
to
fucking
say,
kill you.
Little girl.
I know how to beat Red Dress. Well, I guess I can't say much. I've
No,
looked
you
at this guy
don't.
at least 3 times.
The way to beat Red Best is to don't turn around when you hear the music and just leave.
Yeah.
So, on day 2, Lycaena and Kirrik. You guys want to head out?
Before they head out, like, do you show me the weird thing that he drew? Because you absolutely have access to pen and paper. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
can I throw occultism at it?
We've already done it.
For that particular thing?
Kirrik, you saw the same thing. It's not a new creature.
No, I'm talking about
the drawing.
Yeah.
Oh, the
carving.
Oh yeah, give me that.
You could just take us to it. Yeah, can I roll that too?
You have a button?
Yeah,
occultism, yeah.
I got a button. Hold on.
What's your favorite thing? Buttons. We have to ask.
Yeah.
He does like his buttons.
I do judge how planned it was by the time between me asking and the button popping up.
I was in a game once where somebody had written a lot of the content, like actually written it out, and so they would read out these very complicated descriptions until partway through, like the 3rd or 4th session, one of the other players said, "He's reading. We're on the right track." He stopped reading descriptions after that.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
It was pretty funny.
Mhm.
GM was like, so much for being prepared for you people. We're like, listen, you gave us an investigatory game and then you started reading us things. We're not stupid.
I don't know. I just kind of assumed occultism because like the vibe felt occulty to me.
Teriani.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, fuck.
is the symbol or call sign that this thing uses. You are absolutely 100% confirmed
Okay.
to yourself that you know how wizards have arcane marks, then they just all come up with the that S thing that everybody drew in
Unique
middle
mark.
school.
Yeah.
This
Basically the
is
same thing.
this thing's unique mark.
Okay.
And in any place that you see it is going to be a sign of someplace it has been, or it wanting to make sure that something is aware that it is there.
Is it? I mean, it's not obviously not far from the place we're staying. So is the carving still there, or did it weirdly disappear overnight?
The one
The one that he just carved into the wall that Kirrik saw.
it's well, when you think I'm gonna check and see if that's there in the morning, because maybe
Yeah.
it's a mystic thing or maybe it's not a physical.
Yeah.
Before you are given the opportunity to confirm that, you find another one inside the door of the room you are staying.
Ooh.
Is that really a nice thing? Like you said, oh nice, like this was gonna be a good thing. I feel like we need to talk about that.
Listen, I'm excited about the sketchy shit that's happening. This is interesting to me, and this is a clue. I also recognize that this very much puts our lives in danger, but we're adventurers.
We'll be fine.
In the light
Does
of
anybody
the morning,
know alarm? Sorry, just while we're. Can anybody cast that spell? I definitely know the spell exists, but
I could, but not tonight.
Well, I mean,
I'm pretty sure it's on the divine list. If I pray for it and my god deems me worthy, I could potentially gain it. Yeah.
Khali could probably ring a bell alarm or something if she went and found the bell.
Like a mundane alarm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I had a scroll, I could through a ritual.
It is on every
it.
spell list.
Yeah. So I can't. So Lycaena can't do it tonight, but give her,
How much does an alarm scroll
night's
cost?
sleep.
A first level spell scroll.
Yeah.
I think.
Do you want it tonight, or do you want to wait till tomorrow?
I mean, I'm fine waiting. I'm fine waiting till tomorrow, but
yeah, if we wait till tomorrow, I mean, as long as it's on the divine list, Lycaena will. She'll.
Yeah. I'm not thinking I'm not thinking tonight. I'm thinking hey, this just might be something useful to have in general. I don't know.
To learn it, but she's not convinced personally that this thing. She has a feeling that this thing is just trying to freak us out.
I mean, it's absolutely trying to freak us out, but I want to know the mechanisms in which it does that. Because obviously we're not all seeing him. He has a fairly solid penchant for disappearing, and he's leaving marks to notify us that he's been here. So I want the alarm to see.
We don't know if the marks are intentional or not. We don't know if it's a case where it can't not leave the marks.
Oh yeah, how fresh is the mark in our room, by the way? Is it definitely recent since we've been here?
It was not there when you went to bed.
Okay.
And following up, because you said you wanted to see if it was still there in the morning. Under the light of the next day, going to the alley that Kirrik ran up and down, you can't find it.
Cool.
You definitely all saw the one in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is it carved in?
Yeah, you can trace your fingers over it.
What if I were to scrub it and clean it off and treat it the same way as a wizard's arcane mark? Can I scrub the carving out?
Is that something you could do with Arcane Mark?
With a lower level wizard's arcane mark, yeah, they can be washed off.
Ooh, they renamed it. They called it something.
Sigil.
Sigil. Scrubbed or
Hmm?
Well, Khali can detect magic, and it is not. Can also detect. It is
Yeah.
not producing a magic aura, and as far as you can tell, it's not a positive. Like material wasn't added to the door. Material.
Yeah, it was taken away,
It was
but
carved away. Yeah, so it doesn't look like something that you can mundanely carve off.
I thought it was just kind of a thematic thing, and the actual like the indent was an illusion because
no, it's
illusions affect like touch and feel too.
I have a random question. So they have their daily spells, and I have my daily potions. Would either of these be theoretically helpful? So I could
How long
just
do they
give
last?
people. One of them's an hour, and it's a perception thing. The other one's a minute, but it's got negatives to it.
Okay.
But I was like, if I could make daily potions and they only last the day, as it is.
Like here, take these and use them in your investigation.
Yeah. Would either of those, probably the eagle eye one, be theoretically helpful?
I think if you were to make 4 of them and give them to somebody, they could use the bonus through the course of the day's work.
Yeah, because I can literally just dedicate my entire daily stash of regents while we're investigating to
give us somebody
making
bonuses.
so we can get some bonuses.
That'd be cool. All right. So in terms of next day, like, are we on next day yet?
Yeah, we are beginning day 2 after the creep show.
Okay. With renewed eye, I'm going to go through and roll dice at the books again.
Here are prompts for.
That's not a secret check. Weird.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you found useful information.
Cool. Hey guys, I found useful information.
Wow.
What did you find?
You're digging through these tomes of ancient elven lore.
I thought you were straight gonna say a victory point.
You found a victory point. No, they're not victory points. They're investigation points.
Okay.
You find a passing reference to the defeat and imprisonment of a, quote, slender, lurking creature of shadows.
Oh, that's fun.
Sounds promising.
Mm-hmm.
If this is your target or your hunter, opposite of a target,
Prey.
You prey. If this, well, like, are they preying on you?
I think we're playing games for each other at this point.
It gives you, based on the age of the elven tome you're reading, that this thing or something like it has been around for millennia.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, so I'm not even in like the druid section anymore.
Yeah.
I've went through. See, that's the problem. I was relying on the druids. I should have went and relied on the elves.
Yeah, normal people who know what they're.
Yeah, the elf sects make a lot more sense. They have it wouldn't be a Dewey Decimal System. It'd be like some weird but consistent method of organization.
For druids?
No, for elves.
Because the druids use the morning Dewey Decimal System.
Oh, okay. And the elves use the afternoon one.
Well, because of the morning dew.
Morning dew.
Yeah.
What about the rest of you guys? Where did you go off wandering? Khali was gonna check out the man. I'll give you guys some more time to figure out what you want to do.
Kirrik, if Lycaena goes to the towns, the things, whatever, Kirrik will follow just because he heard how dangerous it is. If not, he'll just follow somebody.
Lycaena will try going to the town. She doesn't think she's going to have much more luck than he did, but
2 heads
she'll
are
go.
better than 1.
Okay, so, meeting back up with Pa Mosby. Introductions. Hey, he said he was gonna bring a cat, not a cat person. This is weird. You're a doctor?
Yeah, I can heal you.
Too bad you
Yeah.
can't. Too bad.
I've healed my friends plenty of times.
Too bad you can't kill Shaylin. Best mule in all the River Kingdoms.
Mm.
All right, I'm supposing that you're wanting to do medicine, which is a crafting check for you, because this isn't going to work if I hit this medicine button. Oh, crafting, is it?
Probably not. No, it's not letting me do.
What are the upper limits of like magical healing in terms of what you can restore? Because obviously, hit points are an allegory, or the fuck, a stand-in. But like, can magical healing restore a limp, or is that only just like basically physical therapy but magic?
It's ambiguous. Whatever the needs for the narrative are. Oh yeah, I cast regeneration. I cut his leg off. I give him a new one.
Oh.
One thing that was really cool about one of this book series I read, the Stormlight Archive, is the magic juice. Stormlight can heal you if you use it, but it only heals you to how you perceive yourself. So like, there's a character that's been paralyzed her whole life, and she identifies as being paralyzed, and so when she gets Stormlight, she's not unparalyzed. But there's another character that lost an arm, but he never like acknowledged it, and he called himself the temporarily one-armed Lopen. And when he got Stormlight, he got the arm back. And I wasn't sure if that's how like canonically Pathfinder healing works, because it kind of feels that way sometimes.
I mean, I don't know that there's a canonical answer to that.
I got a canonical answer for almost every other kind of magic. I mean,
Answer
the
it if you believe.
Book of Magic talks about how like spells as we know them are just like ruts already worn into the road of magic. So like that's just how the shape that magic tends to take.
Khali, checking out this guy's wounds. It clearly looks like he wasn't. Most of the wounds were. You're putting together a story in your head that is not so much that he was attacked by wild creatures, which you have no reason to doubt, but the wounds were self-inflicted from him trying to run home. An out-of-shape guy trying to cover the distance, running for his life, tripping, stumbling, falling, and things like that.
Yeah.
His like hip leg has gotten out of like socket.
Ow.
So, but nothing's broken. But it explains a very painful limp as it's pinching and doing that kind of thing. And you're able to set that, and he responds like, "Oh, you've lifted the curse. I can walk again. This is amazing. Thought I would never be able to escape that shadow." He is thankful. And he, with his mind somewhat more clear, calls the thing that made him run so terribly. Tells you, all behind the beasts, their master, this tall, thin humanoid, all shadowy except for his eerie smile. He looked at me, and for a moment, felt like he was inside my mind, reading my thoughts, and feel profound sense of unworthiness.
I think we've heard of this guy, haven't we?
That is the most poignant piece of relevant information that he gives you after going over his conflicting stories, talking about these undead demon dogs attacked for his Poor Shaylin to pieces.
Or Shaylin.
Poor Shaylin. But he says that, if you come back, he can try and harder to.
I can do that.
Who knows? All right, and you guys are going back to town. Kirrik brought back up.
I love that the two jocks are doing this.
Well, they're something. So yeah, you the broad spectrum of things: investigate the woods, investigate the farmhouses, gathering information, talking back to the alderwoman Abelina. Here's your prompts.
Well, Lycaena's going to roll diplomacy because that's the only one she's trained
Okay.
in, and she's going to critically fail. I think this would be a good point to use a hero point.
I agree.
I mean, you can only go up from there.
That's true.
Kirrik will also attempt diplomacy.
We both failed.
Today is not Diplomat Day.
Yeah, it is not. It is not due to your lack of knowledge of how to talk to people. This community is insular, tight, and weird. Gives you very much the small town in the woods. They're all cult members or something kind of a vibe.
As a cult member herself, Lycaena is slightly offended.
They're standoffish and unforthcoming in any information. That is either... This is the thing that you can't tell, is that they don't want to talk to you because you are strangers, or they don't want to talk to you because they are protecting you from knowledge.
Huh.
You very much get the sense if you start asking around shadowy, slim figures, or if you mention the word Kaneepo, like, people very quickly stop becoming friendly and close doors in your faces and turn and walk away and say thank you. And we got 2 successes on day 2.
It seems like
One on day
place
1,
just
2 on day 2.
wants to get killed. They don't want any help.
That doesn't. They're scared. That doesn't necessarily mean they don't want help. It may simply mean they're not sure how to ask for it or that it's available. And they have no particular reason to believe that we're capable of providing it. Besides,
Literally, don't even need to ask. We're already here.
You keep leaving every night. Maybe you guys
but
need to
we
all
keep
go in and
leaving,
camp out for a day.
and
Yeah.
furthermore, they have no reason to know that we're friendly. With all due respect, Kirrik, you don't exactly, neither of us exactly strike the most warm and welcoming figures.
Yeah.
Forgive me, I forgot that you were the paragon of charm.
Kirrik points at his cat and says that she does all the work I need for charm.
I do like your cat.
These people just don't like cats.
Okay. Something interesting is going to happen.
Oh no.
Teriani, Khali, you guys never went far from Seven Arches. But, it starts to get dark and toward the end of the day, and Lycaena and Kirrik start to be suspiciously late coming back to.
Oh no.
You guys already have this weird feeling that Kirrik is like marked. What are you guys gonna do about it?
Well, should probably maybe possibly go and attempt to look for them. I don't know. go to the edge of town.
Yeah, well, you know that they were headed toward the Finland's farmstead. Teriani went there by himself successfully. And run off to, they just had that tension between the two of them that finally boiled over when left alone. Or something bad has happened to them.
Kirik's too distracted by age for things like that.
I love that the two options are like torrid romance or they're dead.
Isn't that just life, though?
Like, there's no like
There's no in
there's
between.
no like there's no in between. Like either we're having a torrid affair or we're one of us has died.
We're all screaming at them. Just talk to each other as we watch the drama.
Now I do believe that those would be the only two options that Khali might think of.
What's that supposed to mean?
Khali does seem like a dramatic person.
Well, it's not that dramatic. What are you talking about?
She's a
Like
cat.
even the healing rolls are either damaged or healing. Like there's no in between. There's no nothing.
I cannot refute that.
I'm either gonna make you better or worse.
Oh my god, I've been muted for a bit.
Hey there, bud.
My consideration was that they'd be like, there was like either there's an illusion going on making them take longer than would otherwise be necessary. It's possible they got lost on the way. I don't know how they are finding directions, but I would definitely lean into going and looking for them. Unless Khali really sells me on the idea of a torrid affair. But
Khali wants to go look.
All right.
yeah, Khali wants to see it.
If there is a torrid affair, Khali wants to know.
You can't prove that.
So would trying to find them be a nature check?
No, you know the route that they were headed on, and there is, a trade travel road to get there.
Okay.
And you can head out. It's not so late that it's like dangerous and you're panicking, but it is beyond
The expected time of arrival.
It's beyond the expected time, and it is after dark.
Okay. I definitely keep an. I think in this case the best thing to do would be to since I don't necessarily trust everything here. While I'm watching, I'll keep an eye on the actions of the animals around me and see how they are responding to the road as we get closer to where we presume the Kirrik and Lycaena is headed.
I'm assuming there's guards to the edge of the town that we're leaving or something, or on the start of the road, in and out, keep people out. Can we ask if they've seen them?
Actually, there's not, because they have guards posted at the edge of the Seven Arches main border. The town is more or less in the wood.
Oh, okay.
But you can ask to see if anybody's seen them. Most people don't have a clue who you are yet.
You've seen this man with a cat and a very, very quiet lady?
With the
Wait a
holy
second.
symbol.
You're the cat that the man's usually with.
No, the other cat.
Kirrik has an actual cat.
What's the actual cat's name?
I don't know. I don't think Kirik's named him.
Oh,
It's
God.
just cat. Okay.
Cat's
Shoulder
name is
cat.
So you start heading south. I don't actually remember what direction the Finlands are from, but it is maybe a 2-hour journey. Not too long of travel into the woods. You see Lycaena and Kirrik heading in your direction.
Oh, we ran into that. I was worried we were just gonna miss each other, get to the town, walk back, and they're just gonna be like, "Yeah, where were you guys?"
Yeah, Lycaena and Kirrik can't see in the dark, so I imagine Lycaena Teriani can see in the dark, but Khali,
Kelly's a cat person.
right?
I have low light vision.
Yeah, and low light vision is, pretty mostly enough if it weren't so dang shadowy here. But you meet up on the road.
I absolutely asked, like, first thing, hey, what took so long? Which I guess is a question for the DM.
Are we aware that it took so long? Yeah, so
No.
I mean, you're aware that it's dark, right?
probably.
So,
Right, yeah. Maybe yeah, you're trying to like think over what's up and you just lost track of time.
I'm starting to believe Callie's explanation of a torrid affair.
I was definitely not eating something.
I mean, we had a long conversation about how these people don't want help. I said they probably just deserve to get, whatever happens to them. We disagreed, and it just took longer than we thought.
You did talk to a lot of people who were not for.
All right, well, I mean, we're all here now. Let's head back. I guess it's about time for this to happen.
The shadows start to shift, move, and those very familiar creatures.
Well, I probably
Sorry.
cast this before I left since I'm actually going somewhere.
Yeah, put all your.
Like, I don't know how concerned about it I would have been in town, but out of town, definitely would have thrown that on.
Yeah, finding you guys out at night in the woods on the road.
I believe this is a road, and yeah.
More or less.
I
Initiative.
like buttons.
Click.
Man, my initiative rolls are better than all my other rolls. Lycaena's initiative rolls are better than all of our other rolls.
She's ready to go.
She's like, finally, a problem I can solve.
It sounds like the creature growls are coming from the left-hand side of the screen on the west. Lycaena would be the first to act if it weren't for this guy. This was a tough fight the first time when you fought 2 of them, but you're only level 1. Now that there are 8 of them, should be fine.
Oh god.
That's all right. Math checks out.
So this one appears, kind of boils out of the darkness, and it doesn't like that so many of you are in bright light, so it will move forward. And Lycaena, it's less attacking you as much as it is wanting to snuff the light, the magic light that you carry about you out. So it will run up and attempt to bite you. Calling for a fort save.
Oh, right. I forgot that these things have that poison thing.
It is going to bite your shadow. It is being made by your magic light. You take 5 points of piercing damage, and seems to absorb part of your shadow. And,
That's not weird at all.
yeah, and then it's going to continue running past. Hide in the shadows.
You said there was 8 of them?
That was hyperbole.
Oh, okay.
All right, Lycaena, your turn. There's definitely more over here that are still remaining hidden.
Well, I'm gonna cast Bless. Actually, no. It's the end of the day, so I can reach Kieran, right?
Kieran? Kirrik is
Kieran.
adjacent to you.
Kirrik is me. Okay. I'm gonna class Bless. I was considering runic weapon, but
Oh, speaking of runic weapon, I was looking through my inventory, and my weapon has a +1 potency rune. I don't remember putting that on there. Does that sound right?
I don't remember.
We got a +1 in one of in like the beginner dungeon thingy that we did, didn't we? And you shifted the room too.
Okay. I just dealt with this in my other game, and I wasn't sure if I was getting my wires crossed.
You gotta quit playing so much Pathfinder.
Yeah, I guess so.
2 action to bless.
and I will raise my shield.
Where's that dog at?
One of them ran out and went northeast, get into the shadows.
Move. Oh, he's out of it. Bastard. What's my best plan of action here? I think I just move. Here, does it put it in my zone? It does. But I lose bless. That sucks.
It'll get bigger.
That's fair. Yeah, so 1 action to move to that spot, another action to tell him to embrace destiny. Then you better make a fort save.
Targeting him?
I am.
Cool. Gonna need make a flat.
Oh my god.
Lose him in the
Oh my
darkness.
god. Doing it again without being able to attack him seems like a mistake. So instead, I'm going to take another step back and keep y'all in my Palisade Bengals. And then end my turn there.
Hey, Khali.
I was trying to figure out what the heck she had prepared. Yeah, with daily regions. Because I kind of forgot to actively change that.
You definitely had a bunch of light bombs, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, weird. Why wouldn't you have light
bottled
bombs?
sunlight.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Don't worry about it.
We're trying to help you cheat.
I don't know how to make that, therefore,
Oh, well, yeah, that's
that I wouldn't in the first place.
fair enough.
No, I figured out what I would have had prepared, so I'm just gonna click that. Because I said I wanted to make 4 the Eagle Eye Elixir, so I just took off some of my other stuff. Alright, anyways, this is the only one I can see, therefore, poke with rock. Actually, could I seek out the other ones?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, can I do that first, and then how do I do that? It's
Yeah, basic action macros. C.
click, roll.
You do not see the other.
Okay, cool. I'll just attempt to shoot this one in. That was one. This is second action, and let's hope that one.
Well, you got your low light vision, so you can target it.
Ooh, I hit the critical button? Question mark. Alright, let's hope I don't roll a 1 again. I rolled a 2, it's not a 1. Ooh. And I'll try and poke it again.
So good with your swing.
I'm getting better. Okay,
Hey,
that would
Teriani,
be it.
shadow
Kind of an
monsters.
awkward spot. I do wish I was a little bit closer to Kirrik, because that'd make a lot of things a lot easier.
Well, you can move.
Yeah, but I need the action economy.
Yeah,
Why
well,
you
welcome to
plan
being
ahead,
incapacitated.
Joe?
Yeah.
I could have moved 5 feet closer.
Yeah, I'm
You
just gonna
want-
assume you didn't actually want
He's respecting your agency.
the runic weapon. No, it's because I didn't really think about my options until Khali's turn. But I think no matter what, I kind of want to just throw a runic weapon on Kirrik.
It does, in a roundabout way, increase my effective HP.
Yeah. Fair enough. It's just I'm used to doing like a million things on a turn. I can still do a couple things.
Why is that track?
Let's see. I will step forward and do my little familiar, run my hand across her weapon to materialize a bunch of runes on it. I'm going to spend a focus point on Patron's Puppet to have my spider basically run around in a little circle, but it's a hex, and so that means I can use my familiar balance luck to use familiar balance luck to increase Kirrik's AC. Spider basically goes up and show you its lucky mark.
Let's see. Direct weapon on Barrow's Edge. And really bounce luck. I'll swap.
Oh,
Not perfect, but it'll do. That's all, and that's all my actions. Oh god, there's another dog.
that dog do?
Dip.
Runs in. It bites a shadow. 42.
Ooh.
Out of hero points.
No, you're not. I gave you a bonus one.
Where did I get a
when
bonus
you,
one?
When you slid down the rope last time?
Oh,
Oh yeah,
right.
you did say that one was gonna stick around. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well then, I'll re-roll that failure.
Oh. Alright, it tries to grab your shadow, but it is unable to. Continue moving. Get out of it. Lycaena.
Yeah, seriously.
Prompts for fort save.
Somehow I've lost the... There it is.
Manages to get a small bite. Small bite for 7 damage.
Just a little nibble,
No.
because it takes off your shadow's hand.
Absorbs it and then off darkness. You guys are all in a well-lit area. Run up and try Kirrik Shadow. Calling for a 14. Fine.
Bad dog.
Shadows. Lycaena.
I want to use a single action to expand my bless. How do I do that?
You can just you should be able to left click the bless buff, and it should expand it up.
Top right.
It's 25 feet, so it should be expanded.
Yeah, it's just not. It doesn't expand the special effect.
Yeah, there's a
Okay, that's fine. All right. Okay. Well. Okay. So that's one action. I'm gonna move closer to everybody so I can touch anyone who needs healing. And then I'm going to raise my shield.
Hey, Kirrik.
Fucking dog.
Hard to argue with that point.
Come here, dog.
Hey, you moved into the darkness.
I did.
It's going to, for the sake of handling automation,
Let's see. So was it 15?
DC.
Yeah.
It's 11 and it'll automate because I've gave him.
Yeah, but I lost the target.
Oh, you can't see him at all, can you?
Yeah.
Well, hidden is what you want.
You know what? He was actually still targeted. I wonder if I could have gotten the attack through.
I didn't realize that undetected and hidden was. Okay. 18, 16 damage, and the flat.
Damn. Alright. And then I will walk back. Circle the wagons. I wish I had fucking reactive strike. That's my turn.
Can you make it to here?
To where?
Something adjacent to Lycaena so that she can give you a light cantrip.
Yeah, I still have 10 feet of movement, so I can move next to Lycaena.
So I think that might be... I don't know, if Lycaena wants to throw a light cantrip on him, that may be best.
Yeah, so that makes sense, because then I can go out there and fight the dogs and not have to worry about.
Yep.
Yeah, I can do that.
I do it myself, but my light works differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, the way
I want it to be different.
you're,
Shit.
We had this discussion too.
It does appear that there is ignitable material. Extinguished campsite.
But it has to be like legitimately a light, right?
Yeah, it has to be like a light source. Like if you grab something and its primary source is to create light for something.
So is it,
I mean,
is it,
I have
a campfire
Tinder
is
twigs.
primarily for warmth, right? So,
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not entirely sure where that goes. It's like, is this something you would use for light? Like, I mean,
You
Well,
can,
I
you
will-
can grab a
torches out
torch
near
out of a campfire.
So I would argue that a campfire would be a light source.
you understanding how the spell works in fiction, you look at the ground and say, I can put that on fire with ignition.
Yeah,
I
But,
can put that on fire with tinder twigs.
but the thing is like I
At
don't
what
think
point
this
does
is
it stop
as useful.
becoming a light source?
If you look at it and you don't see like a campfire, you see like a pile of like logs or debris, then it's no longer a light source. It's,
What does that mean? Just a circle of stones with black ash in the middle of it as a campfire?
Intentionality is
yeah, it's
like-
part of occult magic. Like the intention is important.
Absolutely, but mechanically, where does the line draw?
like I've made a log into a bench. It's not a light source. But as soon as I put it into a fire, it is.
But do you have to have a log to recognize a campfire? Because you don't, right? You can see a ring of stones and a burnt middle part, and like, oh, hey, look, campfire.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
like
Can you light that on fire?
It's an extinguished campfire, but I'd
yeah.
say it's a campfire.
there's
Like,
enough
as long
material
as
here
it's
for you to
viable
trigger
fuel.
this, to trigger it.
The thing is like how far would the light from a campfire be? Like, because if it's only going to be this far or so, I'm still better off having Lycaena cast a light source on you because you're running out and hitting and running back.
I mean, you're not a. If I were gonna light it, you judge that it's gonna be 20 feet of bright light.
Yeah, because the torch is 20/20. 20 bright edition, 20 of them. And that's like 35 feet away. That's dim light. You're still making flat checks.
Yeah, and these guys are clearly only getting out of the edge of the dim light before
Yeah.
they turn.
And so, let's check. I mean, my illuminate is only a single action, so like by all means, I can do it. Whereas
I mean, I
light,
think it makes
is
sense.
2 actions.
Light is a 2 action. It's fine. I don't mind casting it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Lycaena's favorite spell to cast because she worships a god whose part of whose domain is darkness, but she's willing to cast it.
Mhm.
Particularly if it means saving people's lives.
Yeah, it's kind of a sucker towards people being more alive. That's all of Kirrik's actions, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think in general she's in favor of people surviving.
They do it every
Maybe not
day.
all people, but like everybody in the party.
All right, Khali.
Khali has a proposition for our 2 people with big stabby weapons, and that is, would you like a potion that gives you extra health?
You gonna feed it to them?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking first.
Yeah,
Yes.
I will
All right.
gladly be baby birded or mama birded a potion. Pour it down
All
my
right.
willing gullet.
Well, I can move forward and get 2 of them out, and you can either both take one. Because I don't think I have actions to feed it down your throat.
Yeah, that's the problem though. Is any actions I have to take are
Actions not spent smacking something because it's
Yeah.
3 actions to run out, smack, run back.
Yeah, I suggest you. I don't know which of us is more injured.
I mean, you're
Uh,
definitely more injured.
You're more injured, yeah.
I'm literally at
and-
full health.
You probably should feed it to me, and
I'll just
That'll-
grab one for, like, Kirrik if he comes near, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so, yeah, how much if I do this?
Nice.
I didn't...
Good flat check. Beautiful.
Okay, well, if I wanted to feed it... Alright, anyways, numbing tonic. I'm gonna get one out and give it to Lycaena. So, she'll get a little bit of extra health every turn, and also immediately.
I consider an investment into like little like the like bottle nipples to like more easily feed it to people.
Anyways, I don't know how specifically this would work. So, do I just hit the use button, I guess? Or would she hit the use button, or how does this work?
Here, I'll hit the use button. That did
Oh
nothing.
no.
That didn't work.
I
might
think if
have
you hit
to
the
do-
use button, it'll use it from your inventory, and then Lycaena can just drag the effect onto herself.
Okay. I
I'll
will
try it.
hit the use button.
All right, I dragged the effect onto myself.
Lycaena
Okay, it
has
looks like
2
it worked.
temporary hit points.
Yeah.
I'll take them.
And at the
Cool.
start of
Hit
each of
points.
your turns.
Yeah, and at the start of each of your turns.
And
so it's
you
just a little
gain
extra
2.
buffer.
It doesn't have a cap. It doesn't look like it replaces the previous 2.
It's just for a minute. It gives you 2 every turn.
Well, you
Mhm.
can't have
Nice.
from the same source.
Okay, well you always have 2, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, okay, so there's that, and then I guess I could get out the other one to at some point give to on my next turn, Kirrik. So
No worries.
I'll just ready another bottle of whatever. It's
I have to
called.
spend an action every turn making sure that my bless is still up, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it. Sorry, I just need to make sure.
Okay, I used 2 actions, right?
Do a thing. Baby bird.
And
Thank
I
you, by
guess
the way.
I guess I can attempt to shoot one of these since I can see it. Reload. And this button. This is the button.
Oh man, if only those were the
Only
other way
those
around.
rolls were reversed.
Success.
You know what? At least I'm finally hitting things. Ooh, that would be on my things.
Yeah, and it struck it kind of dissolves in darkness.
Who are you, dog?
What a good turn. Teriani.
Yeah, we're gonna do this. Target that guy down there. Did we significantly benefit from illuminating this? I don't think so. 35, 35, no, not really. They'll be in dim light.
Yeah, they're all
Okay.
currently in dim light, like right at the threshold.
So, it's not gonna make much of a difference either way. But, you know what does make a difference?
Oh no.
Damage.
I cast damage.
I cast damage. And I target him with cold iron. And I hit him.
It's... Everything's coming together.
And 3d7 cantrip. Hell yeah. And triggers weakness to cold iron. And I'm going to do a good old nudge fate. Not on that guy down there. On Kirrik, who's right next to me. And so if you'll extempore affect your... actually, are you next initiative or is this scene? It's probably better on you anyway, because you have a... Actually, you have the same chance to hit, right? I don't know. You have my... you have the runic weapon, so... yeah, I'm going to call that a nudge fate on Kirrik, so he'll have to extempore effect on him. And then, let's give... I'm gonna give Khali the AC bonus from Clickety. Because that guy down there is probably going to go and bite Khali.
Oh no, not the kitty.
So if Khali, you'll drag the familiar bounce luck effect onto yourself and click the +1.
+1. I did it.
Yep, and that's all my actions.
Alright, Southern border creature is wounded, so it's going to try and absorb shadow. Changing its strategies whatsoever. It like how. Well, I would like. Calls for fort save.
Oh,
now?
dog, don't eat the cat. Oh.
Come on, that was 16. I saw it. That die moved.
Bites your shadow, not you, for 8 damage.
Ow.
Absorbs it. Teriani, this time much farther away. Trying to get all the way out of the darkness.
Are they just like charging like lancers do on horses?
Wait, why was he hidden to me?
He wasn't. So when he ran into... So I'm using hidden to represent the dim light.
Yeah.
So when they're in dim
Oh,
light,
so he should... Okay, so I got it.
they've been within 40 feet of Lycaena, who is the light source. This one now has run fully out of the dim light and is undetected.
So I shouldn't... Undetected? You mean hidden?
No, undetected.
Why is he undetected?
Because creatures in darkness are undetected. Unless you
But-
have
Like
dark
creatures in-
vision or precise sense other than vision.
I have dark vision.
Do you have dark vision?
I do
Yeah.
have dark vision.
You have dark vision. Oh, because
Because...
you do.
Because I'm an elf with...
Elves don't get dark
With-
vision.
I'm an elf with a Zada blood.
Okay, so he is not undetected to you.
Okay, so I know where he is.
I like how you're saying that you get dark vision because you're an elf, and your primary reason isn't because you've got fucking celestial blood.
I'm an elf with celestial blood. Each of those individually would not give me dark vision.
This guy's gonna run up, bite Kirrik. He is not biting your shadow. He's going for the actual part of your body that is real, because he's at full health.
Which
Right.
part of me is real?
Which part of any of us is real?
Oh.
God damn it.
When they do real hits, they hit real hard.
Yeah. Okay. I understand now and will adapt my tactics in the future.
It's not that hard. We're alright.
What the darkness work?
No, the creatures using the shadow attack when they're damaged and the regular attack when they're not damaged. Because I gave Khali an AC bonus on the assumption that that she would get hit with an attack, but it was a damaged creature, so I was acknowledging my own tactical error from earlier.
You're wrong for the right reason.
Okay.
Alright, Lycaena, they have moved into the darkness, so they're both undetected.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna cast light on Kirrik, assuming he's cool with me doing so.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we don't cast spells without consent. So that's your spell effect light, my friend.
Oh my gosh, they changed light. It doesn't dismiss the previous one. It's you can have 4 simultaneously.
And you create an orb. Wait
Ah,
a second.
Wait a
Light
second.
doesn't work how I thought it
Light
did.
is super do.
You can attach or
Um,
detach it from a creature as part of this movement.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm attaching
Yeah,
a
okay.
light. Kirrik.
It still works the same way. It's just it can also be.
It works like dancing lights.
Ping pong.
Also light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow,
I'm doing
light's
that,
super
and
great.
then I'm gonna focus to maintain my bless. And now it's 35 feet. Please go kill things, Kirk.
Be the
Will
guiding
do.
light.
May the blessings of the black butterfly guide your blade.
Alright,
Says lighting up the darkness.
Alright, Kirrik. You are a beacon of hope.
All right. The question here is, do I need to spend 2 actions to get to that dog? Which way do you go?
One bit Khali and ran off left. The one that bit you ran off right. Hold on.
Okay, so that would be 2 move actions to get there. Tough decision.
Never really had a fight where I could really play with darkness.
You know what? I'm committed. Fuck it.
Really
Worst thing that happens is I die.
Wait, don't hit him yet.
You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses.
Hit a dog with glass.
With glasses.
Hell yeah, striking D12s.
Yikes, yikes, yikes.
Yeah, I just wish I could drink it.
He's bloodied.
Yeah, that's my turn. I take 2 move actions to get here.
Khali.
Well, I can see the one by Kirrik, so.
I really hope that they one day get the lighting on him. Targeting. One day.
Does the sling have?
Kelly?
20 or 30, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
What was the question?
How much distance does the sling have? Like, effective distance, not I can shoot it further, but it's not great.
50 feet for the first range increment.
Oh, that's pretty good. It should be just about within 50 feet of you.
Yeah, I have to, like, move a little bit, but
Yeah,
that's fine.
If you don't want to move, it's a -2.
Well, with my luck, I need as much help as I can get. Therefore, I'm moving.
I did hit on that 16. Their AC is pretty low.
Yes, but I keep
But
rolling
that-
ones.
Yeah, that's
Whatever,
fair.
you critically hit twice.
But I also roll a lot of ones.
Yeah, you're the inverse bell curve.
Anyway, how the heck? I don't want to move too far from the main group, so I'll just move enough to where I am within effective range, yeah. And then figure out which buttons I use. These are the buttons.
Deployed care.
Hello.
Oh, good.
Womp, womp, womp.
Okay, let's try again. Okay, that's my turn.
Teriani, you solved the case.
Did I?
So you had a tactic.
No, I said I was acknowledging a tactical error from earlier. In this case, the only thing I can really do is throw magic at that thing. I think what I want to do after that is going to depend on the result of this. So I think my first step, no matter what, is going to be throwing a spell, throwing the needle darts with cold iron, targeting him, and I have dark vision. Oh, okay, cool. This probably kills him.
That's,
Okay. And I know the other one is over here. So, I just need to know his location. I know he's going to come swinging at Lycaena, so I'm going to nudge fate Lycaena. So go ahead and extempore affect yourself on that, and I'm also going to familiar a balance select to give Lycaena some AC.
What am I supposed to do with that?
You right click the
Uh,
card, and there's a extempore effect button.
Oh.
Are we all concerned about the boogeyman down there?
Sorry, that was me. I accidentally grabbed undetected and wanted to not have grabbed it anymore, and I'll just put it on the map, and then it made a token.
Okay. I accidentally closed the tab, so give me a second.
Nice cover up.
You gotta think on your feet when you're running these things.
Hmm.
Dungeons and Dragons is all about improv.
Oh no, my worst skill.
You can be good at improv. I believe in you.
I did it with my players
No
once,
belief.
where we were running a Descent to Avernus, and they ran into Zariel. And they were supposed to run into Zariel, and I had the mini, and I was trying not to show it, and somebody saw it, like, wow, that's a really cool Zariel mini. Why do you have that? I'm like, oh, because I just painted it, and I wanted to show it off. And they're like, oh, okay. And then, hey, by the way,
They run into it.
yeah, actually, Zariel's here.
Nice cover up.
Good. Anyway, clickety bounce lock. That's all I wanted to do. And then that's also going to go on Lycaena because she's probably the next target. It's probably going to bite her shadow anyway, so I'm not sure this makes a difference, but may as well throw it out
What is there?
Touching fate.
on Lycaena.
I'll take it.
Luck.
Yep.
Rush in and actually bite Lycaena physically.
Oh, I wonder if it has a cooldown on the shadow bite.
Balance luck.
Hell yeah. Look at me making a difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah, your spider.
Alright, it was off to the south.
Whoa.
Lycaena, it's your turn.
Are any of these things still alive, as far as we can tell?
Yeah, the one that just came up and tried to bite you.
Yeah, but I don't know where it is. So, I'm going to expand Bless once again. I will
Let's
get
go.
Kirrik into it.
Attracting a lot of black butterfly attention.
Well, I'm gonna raise my shield. And I can move my light source, right? Like, that's one of the things I'm allowed to do with one action.
If you sustain it, yeah. Also, you can move yourself, and that'll move the light source because I was under the impression when you started the fight it was attached to you.
Okay, then I'm gonna move. I don't want to get too far away from people. I just want to try to, like... No, I'm gonna stay close in with these guys. I don't want to... Alright, so I'll step in to be closer to, Khali and Teriani.
Kirrik.
So there's another dog left somewhere? Yeah, I see him. Can I get there in one turn, one move? I can get exactly there in one move. Let's go. Well, 2 moves, I mean. What up, dog? Oh no.
How could
You know what?
miss? He was.
Oh god, I see it. Hero points coming.
Yeah.
Whenever I see a 2-die getting thrown around, I feel useful.
Yeah, look at all that damage Teriani did.
Yeah, it does, really. Arguably half my damage just because of you. Alright, that's my turn. I'm just gonna
Those
go
are
around
the
in a
plus
circle killing
ones.
dogs.
Yeah, you split the party of dogs.
Yep.
And I also split the dogs.
No, you split the party into left halves and right halves.
Well, that was suspicious timing of dogs.
I know. How convenient for them to wait until we met up to attack us.
Yeah, you were there just in time.
Can Khali invest in purchasing the formula for dark vision elixir?
I don't think those are rare.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
well,
think
I'm
that'd
saying, can I find the formula and buy that?
yeah,
Because
that's a great idea.
They are common, yeah. Item 2.
it's like I should be able to make it. I just don't have the formula, therefore.
Yeah, it's a good. You can remove the money necessary and get that.
I think it's 6 gold. Okay, we go. Level 2. Dark vision elixir, lesser, 6 gold. Yeah.
The formula is only 2 gold. A whole new
Oh,
one
okay.
is 6 gold.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Let me drag this onto my formulas.
Man, being an
Let
alchemist is
me
great.
remove a 2 gold. There we go.
Oh, what a night.
Oh, that was a thing.
So the rest of the evening, so you stay up a little later than you would like, without incident. Star day.
Alcohol is alchemical?
I mean, technically.
According to this, alcohol is alchemical.
That
Like
makes sense.
looking through things.
It is like
I mean, there's not a difference between
Mm.
chemical and alchemical, right? Like,
not
alchemical
really,
is very much non-magical.
and alcohol generally has like alchemical significance, so it's not abnormal to consider it alchemical.
Mm-hmm. I'm just like looking to see if there's anything else I might want to invest in acquiring formula for. So that I just saw alcohol like literally on the top of the list of alchemical things. So I was like, oh, wait a minute. Wow, I just healed for a lot of damage. We all healed for a lot of damage.
But I used a mega
Right.
elixir.
Ba, 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 ba.
You feel like you're close to maybe discovering something actionable, but so far you haven't really. You're finding confirmations of this spindly, slim character and creature. So it's definitely not only Kirrik who has seen him. Day 3 of investigation montage on Star Day, the 14th. Holiday coming up today.
Yeah.
Man, look at all that young.
Teriani, you hitting the books again?
I was thinking, I mean, it's either the books or the town.
So far, the town has been untoward in its clues. Nobody's gone to the attack scene yet, where some merchant was killed.
You know what? I'll do that. I kind of like after the books. I have an idea of what I'm looking for. Right. Anybody else?
Hmm?
Anybody else here?
What?
Yeah,
What?
I mean,
Yeah, poor Kirrik, he's not suited for this kind of work.
In all fairness, you were warned about what kind of game this is going to be.
I'm not complaining. Just right now, I killed some dogs. I'm happy.
This
This is
isn't
just
Kirik's the
his
muscle of our
spot-
group.
This isn't his spotlight part. Everybody gets a good spotlight part. Teriani.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Teriani has been like consistently a good relevant character on everything we've done, except for like saying hi to people. He's not very good at saying hi to people, but I can't be good at everything. So
So
I'm taking murder. Kali's
Kirrik
got
will
to
do
check
the
out
same thing he did
something.
last time because the town's still ostensibly more dangerous. So whoever goes to the town, Kirrik will accompany.
Um, the town is like near the thing, right? Okay, I'll run to town with Kirrik. It'll be my turn to have the
No, just you keep
the
Kirrik
affair with
keeps bringing
Kirrik.
people to be like, can you talk to this guy?
Uh,
And so far, and like the Hobble Mosby, even though he is been very cooperative,
Mhm.
potentially still has more information. But I will be pretty explicit when you feel like you've tapped a resource.
And I will fairly explicitly like track time as it goes by, like open my book and take notes.
To try to figure out why you got lost or how
Because
they
like
relate.
yeah, I don't think Lycaena or Kirrik would have like because they seemed unaware about how much time had passed, right? And that
Yeah.
Yeah.
it seems like you guys would be more on top of it, so I'm just going to like note taking, keep track of time, like strictly, and be very aware about where the sun is in the sky. But in addition to the people, I'm also going to see if there's anything interesting going on with because there's like a lot going on here other than the townspeople, right?
Yeah, it's just that's what the checks have been on. You also got
Yeah.
nature and survival in first world.
Yeah.
That I can give you different kind of context on.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go for either nature or survival. I think they're both the same.
What are the girls doing?
wanna go see the guy again, Lycaena?
I guess. I mean, Lycaena really like the only skill she has that is any use of any of this is a tiny bit of diplomacy.
Well, Khali
Like-
has no diplomacy, so
Yeah,
She
so
has
she'll hang out with
perception.
Khali. That's fine with her.
Okay.
I mean, there's still like things to keep track of in the books,
I mean, yeah, I could go to the
and there's a
books
whole
and look for
murder
stuff,
site,
but
which I am amazed Lyciana hasn't gone to yet.
Khali does not
Talk
want to
about
go to a murder
murders.
site.
Lycaena will go to a murder site. It's no problem. But
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
actually
I don't-
know what the skills relevant in murder.
that's true. We should go figure that out. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Lycaena will go explore the murder site.
Holly, do you want to stick to books then?
Yeah, I
I'm on
guess
our murder.
All right,
I will stick to books.
we're gonna go top to bottom because that's the order of where the buttons are.
It's alphabetical.
Correct. So the quaking stacks. Back to the books. The druids have missed you. Nobody came to visit yesterday, even though Teriani was there. Nobody furry. So, Khali, please choose your topic.
The only one I can. Let's go.
A success.
That was almost a critical
Like how you
success.
rolled a 19 and didn't get a crit success. All right. You're digging through the stacks, and you come across a Pathfinder Chronicle. It is more or less a treatise on the first world that is not very specifically applicable, but there is a footnote describing the colorless forest of the shadow realm of Nighthold that was once ruled by the exiled eldest Count Ranalk.
Count Ranalk.
Can't win up.
Count
Can I?
Ranalk.
I don't think I can count that high.
Is there like a sort of recall knowledge I could do on that name or no?
Yeah, religion.
Oh, well, I don't think I have that. Let me.
Okay, I have religion. We can come back to it.
Yeah, you found some useful information. You found a new name. At the murder scene. Okay, we haven't been here yet.
Oh no.
There is an overturned, damaged cart, and the like mutilated donkey that have been left out here to rot. It is gross and disgusting, but whoever the person was that died has been carried away with some care. It looks like people have been steering clear of using this road and have been more or less afraid. The general theory was that having something big, like a cart and pack animals, was enough to keep the shadows at bay. You can investigate any of the things that look interesting. Here are some prompts.
Well, the only one of those I have is perception. So we'll start with that one.
Looking around. Oh no.
And I will critically fail.
Who did we agree who I was gonna give my elixirs to, by the way?
That's your call.
Yeah, I was gonna assume I gave
Lycaena
half of
is
them
a
to
good
the
one.
people to the town if they're going to investigate.
That makes sense. Yeah, this is a gruesome scene, Lycaena. It turns you. I don't know. Maybe Lycaena is like impossibly tough.
No, she's not.
But yeah,
She's only 18. She's really young. Like she's not very cynical about the world, really, in her own way.
Seeing this animal that has been pretty vicious, unsettling. You're not able to spend much time here.
Okay, well, that was a useless use of my time.
It wasn't useless. We discovered skills to roll.
Yeah. Lycian's gonna spend the rest of the afternoon. She's sufficiently bothered by this. She will spend the rest of the afternoon. She'll go looking for a temple to pray at. So if there is a temple that she can go pray at, that's where she will go. If there is not, which is equally likely, she will just go to a quiet place that she can find to meditate.
There's probably a good chunk of shrines.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll necessarily find any specifically. A lot of Erastil, a lot of Gazra. Like a heck of a lot of Erastil.
Yeah, that's not really what she's looking for. So if necessary, she will just go and find a place that's completely silent that she can sit in.
There's definitely a lot of Gazra Black Butterfly overlap in the kind of setting and tone that they like in their holy spaces.
Yeah, but she still doesn't necessarily want to worship in another god's temple. If it was Desna, she wouldn't feel so weird about it. But
I mean, there might be a quiet corner in a Desna temple.
You could find a Desna temple.
Unlikely.
I imagine that Desna temples intentionally will have rooms that are quiet because they know.
Yeah, that's probably it. So she will go find a quiet Desna temple and spend some time.
Also, because people like to sleep.
Well, and they also have rooms where it's here's where all the musical instruments in the dance hall is. So
Yeah.
Uh,
Stays away from.
Well,
Isn't
that's the
Desna the
overlap
traveler?
with the
Yeah, Desna's the
god
goddess
of
of
art.
travel.
all right.
Ah.
Desna and the black butterfly are.
I
tight.
just remember seeing that constantly popping up in the Catfolk thing. Was they like Desna and Desna travel?
Everybody
That was
likes
all I
that.
Yeah,
remember.
Desna's a very popular goddess because she's pretty just friendly. She's not.
All right. Teriani, you've been strong-armed into this by Kirrik. He's like, your turn.
Oh no.
You can try and speak with town folks or investigate the sites, the edges of the threshold. This
Their back late is Khali going to assume that they're having a torrid affair.
No.
well, and like
Oh,
you know, the
just
farmland
being
here,
exactly what Khali's fanfiction is.
the farmland here is indeed like incredibly fertile, and you can see that the farms are thriving. Like even though the place is like kind of like wet and uncomfortable and foggy and muggy, but like oh yeah, I like it's not like a town that's about to die out or like people are desperate to leave. It's just there's this weird sense of danger everywhere. Willing to risk it to farm, you're gonna live a good life.
All right. Yeah, I will look into the nature side of things.
Ish.
I will look into the nature side of things. Motherfuck.
God damn it, people just tell me what's happening.
It worked. Well, you know, we got a loyalty program, and it really doesn't kick in until the third time.
Maybe somebody saw us kill the fucking whatever the fuck's in the woods. And they're like, oh wow, this guy's actually kind of competent.
Yeah, maybe that's what changed people's minds.
The weird goopy stuff that he turned. Oh, never mind. He would have washed his sword. There wouldn't still be goopy stuff in his sword.
Yeah,
I don't know
so
if I need to watch Barrowblade.
you're canvassing farmers, trying to get any kind of information. You talked about how you were attacked by Gorgas yesterday, and they talk about that the there's an invisible forest boils same manner that the Gorga shadows do. They have this kind of roiling, shimmering heat wave over pavement effect, and that Gorga attacks aren't the only problems that they have in the Thinlands. The region has a long history of people disappearing, and it is primarily attributed to a mythical being, local cryptid, called Kaneepo the Slim.
Are they at all like turned out? Like, I mean, I think the Celestial Blood might have messed with like the all out like elf eyes, but I don't think there's a lot of hiding that I'm elven. And would they be at all concerned about that?
I don't think these people necessarily would be aware of the curse.
It's interesting.
I mean, they probably would because you might be the only ever. They seen as a half elf.
Yeah.
But without pressing anything, these folks are very unforthcoming on.
I'm sorry, were they worshiping Kaneepo or were they just aware of
No,
Kaneepo?
he is a known thing here. Like, people know the name. That he is behind disappearances that have been going on since the Thin.
Okay, so it's just like something that they're scared of, not like a cult worshiping them, and they're trying to probably avoid. Okay.
So some of these pieces of information you've gotten a consolidation on.
Oh, do they recognize the other name that Khali came? Oh, I guess we wouldn't have had the time
Yeah,
to.
you'll hear that name when you get back and reassess.
Yeah.
And here is some of that reassessment. So without needing to make a check, if you're just trained in religion,
I am in fact trained in religion.
are in fact
Kirrik is also trained in religion.
Count Renalk is a deity level eldest.
Okay.
So absolutely someone we've heard of.
They're not. Yeah, they're not somebody that is particularly gods and magic thing. But you're welcome to read.
Ooh, two of them.
Like he's so common that he doesn't even have his own.
Mhm. Edicts, plot betrayals, or revenge for betrayals. I love it.
Playing both sides of the fence seems a very Fey thing to do.
Yeah. Anathema, ask for forgiveness.
Okay, so he's a Fae in the Netherworld.
Yeah.
Which explains a lot.
Mhm.
Because if what's really happening is that
Did
this
we?
area
Oh, sorry. Continue.
is essentially creating some kind of planar gateway, that would explain why they need the Seven Arches, because the Seven Arches are planar gateways.
Did we draw a connection between Catwalk and Kaneepo the Slim? Other than they're both like Fae-ish netherworldish creatures?
Not directly. You have not heard their names related. They do seem to be weird shadow Fey creatures.
Now that we have both names, though, is there something more we can do with that?
And how is Catwalk generally depicted? Actually, how do they depict Kaneepo in the village? Do they have like any drawings or like descriptions?
We'll have to follow up.
What?
We'll have to follow up.
Oh, okay. Guess we're going back to the village.
So we have hit a couple of thresholds. A quick summary of things that you're aware of is that this Fey creature called Kaneepo the Slim seems to be the source of the Gorga attacks, as well as disappearances in the Thinlands, and that these things have been becoming more and more common since your lost time. The attacks are getting more and more potentially bold, and one of the more recent victims, since you've been looking around, not only were you attacked, but they've also attacked an Oak Steward directly.
They being the Shadowfae?
They being the Shadowfae, yeah.
Did I notice anything weird about time passing since I was explicitly taking notes?
If time passed normally, but it seems like the trip back took longer than the trip there.
Okay.
And like, it objectively didn't take any longer because you were recording it, keeping track. I don't know, like, necessarily the methodology you used, but you know how in reality, like, when you go to a place, it always takes longer than it does leaving? Is that something that only I experience in the world?
Maybe with more description, I might understand that.
So
No,
like,
I mean, like, I think the idea is that, like, it's that, you know, if you're walking to a place that's unfamiliar,
yes,
the return trip is often faster. It
Yeah,
feels
sure.
faster.
if you're going,
psychologically, right?
going
Because
someplace you've never been
because
to.
like you know where you're
Yeah,
going at that
yeah.
point, and you're like, oh, okay, I know how to get there.
And you're not like actively looking around for stuff
Yeah.
stuff all the time.
Trips
Right.
home always feel like they're not as long as trips to someplace new. That's kind of what this feeling pulls up, but backwards.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Like
Okay,
almost
well,
like
I guess.
when you leave, you're like taking a different route.
Mhm. Okay, so like getting back, like I don't see any inconsistency with like the actual time that it took. It's just later, and I'm sitting here like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like,
This is bullshit.
and
Okay.
the only rational thing that you can come up with Kirrik, because Kirrik was the one that got lost. He was like, yeah, we thought we left on time. I guess we didn't give ourselves enough time.
Hmm. Well, we know the trip back takes longer now, but I mean, unless we want to cut into our time spent there, we're just gonna have to deal with it one way or another.
Well,
How
the
extreme
other
is the
thing
time difference? Is it like I hit a few too many red lights on the way home, or is it like, yeah, I took a wrong turn?
It's too many lights, kind of a thing.
Okay.
Like you catch
Well,
the
I
wrong
mean,
traffic pattern, and you end
you
up
were like
losing.
late enough for us to get impatient and like come out and look for you, like the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the two of you didn't think you were that late. You know, you just a couple minutes after sundown.
Yeah.
So we've got an escape hatch here. If we don't want to do any more investigating, we can move on. If we do, there could potentially be more context and information that's discoverable.
We've got two nerd characters here, so if the nerd characters want to be nerds, by all means.
I feel like more information's always helpful.
Yeah. Be prepared to do all the heavy lifting.
But that's what the strength characters are for.
The mental heavy lifting.
There you go.
I do want to check out the murder site too.
All right, so I'm gonna reset everybody.
Okay, whoever's going to the murder site, I am explicitly giving them my perception potions.
What were the skill checks for the murder site? Hold on, not that one. Oh, it
Hunting,
was
scouting,
first
survival,
world
perception. Yeah.
arcana, hunting, scouting, survival, perception. I will probably be using survival or arcana, which, yeah. But somebody else could probably take the perception bonuses.
I'm gonna let the nerds nerd here.
Who has the best perception?
Everybody has.
I'm at +4, which is not particularly great.
Yeah.
Lycaena and Teriani both have the best.
+6.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the best, but that's what it is. I don't know how you tell. How do you tell that? You can go to the little thingy, right?
Party
And it tells
menu.
you what you're. Yeah. I am the best person at seek and sense motive, so I probably do have the highest perception.
Lycaena, Teriani, and Clickety.
Oh yeah, we forgot about Clickety.
Lycaena and Teriani are tied in perception.
But Teriani has higher like arcana skills, so we'll be using that.
Lycaena, if you wanted to try perception again, maybe going by your
Sure.
like the first day it just unsettled you, and you're like, I was not ready for that.
I will percept.
What about other? Khali?
I don't know. Should I go back to the books or could I go to the town today? Or do we think we found what's at the town?
I'm starting to think that we found what's at the town, but I'm willing to be flexible.
We've got 2 successes in the library, 2 successes with interviewing the man, 0 successes at the murders.
So we could probably use another success at the farm if we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Investigation montage.
Yeah. This will go to where everyone else has been, which was the farm, right? Yeah. The farms.
Kirrik, anything you can just bust fate? You did manage to get something in the town. Oh, you're never leaving that place, are you? You went there every
No.
single day.
Doesn't care about books. He's not particularly good with survivors and traumatized people, but he's finally got these people to talk to. They can appreciate me killing dogs. So
All right. Let's talk about investigating the scene of the attack.
I gave Lycaena those potions.
Cena has this book.
What potions?
+1 perception potions.
If you
Cool.
I dragged it or put it in the chat, so
the Eagle Eye elixirs.
yeah.
She's given you guys a huge stack of these things, so you're basically, as you continue investigating.
Okay.
Are they alcoholic?
No.
Damn. That's probably for the best.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright. I'm just looking with our. Hold on.
Success. Okay. So yeah, Lycaena, you had to do all you could to really get over the side of this partially eaten animal, but are a little bit more fortified and ready to investigate. It does have flesh wounds as well as gashes in its shadow. You also see a set of. You're not finding like tracks, but you see like a single set of like shoeless humanoid footprints standing like around the edge of. I'm gonna investigating these tracks and Teriani with your Arcana skill, you occasionally find more humanoid footprints, but they never are like tracks. They're just a single standing set of footprints, as if the creature is frequently appearing and disappearing, suggesting some form of flight or teleportation or non-terrestrial.
Creepy.
Well, that lines up with what we know about this thing.
Khali and Kirrik. Yeah, the more the information you find, the more corroborative it is.
diplomacy. Nope.
Oh.
Come on, hero point
Meeny,
that one.
miny, mo. You.
I
Roll.
don't know how to that.
Yeah, I want to re-roll that using the hero point you gave me.
Any failure in it.
I have a lot of hero points. I could.
You can't go again.
You can't reroll
I
the
know.
same check multiple times.
That is the classic hero point experience: is turning a failure into a failure.
A better failure.
Sometimes.
I'm a big fan of confirming the nat one.
Right. Yeah, you visit the Thinlands. Not able to deduce much information situation. Specifically, it seems like nobody really wants to talk to you. You guys have been poking around at. Not that it necessarily makes it harder, but that's justifying the failures. This time, head to wherever it is you've been staying the past couple of days. I imagine you guys have like rented over for a week or a month or something. Part of your funding for this adventure was lodging. Hanging from the ceiling of the room, all
Oh no.
reconvene, is a all songbird. Body is very deliberately broken in a kind of way,
Right.
hanging
Oh.
from a little string in the ceiling, and it casts no shadow.
Birdie, no!
Anybody else at all concerned about that?
Not really.
Yes.
If
Okay.
they're trying to make us afraid,
I mean, they definitely are. But
and I'm not particularly if they're trying to make us afraid and they have not yet moved towards direct confrontation, then either they're not concerned about direct confrontation, in which case being worried about it won't serve us any good,
Is there
or
any,
they're attempting to avoid direct confrontation, in which case they are concerned, and we can only assume that's for a good reason.
is there any new magic in the room that I can detect?
Not new magic.
Hmm.
Very, very old.
But us being afraid or freaking out over a dead songbird is not going to particularly help us or serve the long-term goal we have.
yeah, but we should be it's something to be concerned about. I mean, I'm concerned
Birdie,
about
no.
walking around in the dark, but you know. Necessarily afraid of it.
Is there anything?
Anything we can do with this? Can I throw a knowledge check at it? Like, I don't know what to do about this. Like, it's just someone
We
sending
could
us
eat
a
it.
message. I believe that's a poor decision.
Besides the fact
Not to
that
do with any like magical shit. It's just birds have parasites.
The mark on the door is gone.
Oh, okay, that's a good sign.
Is
well,
it?
we knew that we kind of could tell it was going to happen though, right? Because the mark outside
Yeah.
disappeared.
Yeah.
I wish we could figure out more about
Is this a
these.
local bird?
What do you want to be more specific about?
Oh, where the bird comes from? If it's
Oh,
a local bird, or if it's like
it's
a...
a
Yeah, like,
local
is it
bird, yeah.
is it local bird? Yeah.
A little brown.
Is there any injuries on the bird, or is it just like someone sold shadow and it died?
No, it's definitely got physical injuries, and it looks like they were something deliberately like snapped its wing several places.
Well, that's just unnecessary.
Yeah, it was cruel. This thing was done with cruelty.
Birdie, no.
One of the oak stewards got attacked, is that correct?
Yes.
Can we go talk to them?
You can attempt to. You are given the name Varna.
Varnish.
Varnish. And we assume he was under attack. He's missing.
Oh.
Well, it would probably behoove us to go find him.
He his last known location was in a more specific place in the woods. They give you like a trailhead name. Oh man, I wish I could just make stuff up. He's on the 32nd parallel.
Well, shall we try to head in that direction, or
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not.
Yeah.
is there more that we think we can learn in town?
There's definitely more that you can learn in all of these places. But if you want to go look for this guy specifically, we can spend the day doing that.
I mean, we've got half an hour of the session left. I'm flexible.
I'm down to throw more knowledge checks around.
Weird. How antsy is Kirrik?
Kirrik got his violence, and this stuff's cool. So
You're just like, oh, you nerds! I'm glad you're having so much. It's not fun. This thing is very overtly threatening you.
We're doing things.
Sorry. Yeah. We're. Let me reset everybody. Tell me. Does not seem like we're gonna investigate this Varna guy. Continue.
We will eventually.
We will eventually. We'll do everything eventually. But he is a lead that you have discovered after getting 4 successes.
Okay.
You've also got a second lead at this. That the Finland's Farms is bound somehow to the real Finlands, which is a shadowy extraplanar forest in the first world. And clearly, Kaneepo has some means of coming and going between them.
Okay. So we have the Kaneepo messing around with the Finlands, which is in the first world. And then we had something about the eldest regarding betrayal. I forgot his name already. Hanging
Ronald.
around Ronald in the netherworld, but very I don't know. I suppose his area would be a bit more first worldly. But...
Yeah, it was in a Pathfinder Chronicle describing the first world, and it mentioned a colorless forest in the realm of Nighthold.
Weird. Okay. I guess I'll do books.
Okay. Teriani's on books. Khali, you're the next nerdy.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I could go to. I don't know.
I would suggest that Kirrik or Lycaena go with each of the nerds if they split up, given that we've had a pretty direct threat.
That's probably a good idea.
Everybody goes to the library.
well, then the question is, where's Khali going?
Yeah.
You are now the focal point,
Oh no.
the decision maker.
Double down on the library.
Why do you want us
Well,
to keep going to the library?
library or town, either one. I'm trying to decide because we've failed a lot at the town. You know.
Axe. Scene murder. You do find that the lady that got killed on the road, her name was Hetria Pebblesworth.
Pebblesworth.
At least they named
Pebblesworth.
people in this one. Pathfinder used to have a really notorious habit of not naming people. I remember I was investigating a murder in a Pathfinder Society Chronicle, and they didn't bother to name the victim.
The
It was just
victim.
like, well, who the hell got killed? Like, this person is supposed to be someone we know, and we don't even know their name. Like, that's troubling.
Like,
All right,
I don't know.
gotta decide something.
I don't know. I want to flip a freaking coin.
wanna-
Books or town.
Stay in bed.
I want to flip a
Well,
coin.
she is a
Books or town.
cat.
Yeah, that is nice.
Being a cat
Yeah, I'll flip a cat.
does have heads and
That's not
tails.
it. It'll always land on its feet, though.
Not big feet.
Okay. Alright, I have a coin. I'm flipping a coin. I really am indecisive.
Okay.
Well, there's no
Town.
bad
Okay,
decision.
there we go. Town.
Kirrik, do you want
Yeah.
to keep going to town? Seems to be your thing.
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
I want to get these people to open the fuck up eventually.
One day. All right. Stacks checks. Here I go. It really is like the druids are very, like you're giving them something interesting to help you research. I hear that's a thing that archivists like.
It is. It is. It's our happy place.
It's probably like the quietest you will ever find Teriani.
Oh my gosh, Lycaena, critical success. This
Oh.
is what you should have been doing. You have a calling.
Shut up.
The library calls.
It's just that it's quiet. It's her
Ah!
The children yearn for the library,
She's
But look,
like,
my number is higher.
and yet it matters less.
He just finds the right thing.
Walks up to random
Fucking-
shelf. And
I
grabs
have
the
like
right
all
thing.
this stuff figured out, and Lycaena just like, oh, is this what you're looking for? She's just like, hey, what's this? And I'm sitting there like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, you just looking around, doing research. Lycaena, you stumble into a without knowledge or realization of.
she's trained in occultism.
No, the thing that you don't have knowledge or secret of is that Teriani is attracting all of the attention and research of the Oak Stewards, who are very much invested in helping. Like they want this to be found, and because of that, there is less scrutiny on the restricted sections of the library that you manage to wander yourself in, because they're more quiet, moved from all the hustle and bustle of everybody doing their research. You managed to find a secret record that speaks of the Shade Wither Key.
Oh. What does it say about the Shade Wither Key?
Wither Key is tied intrinsically to Shadow, and
That's the reason.
its wielder can conjure into being a shadowy copy of themselves.
What the fuck?
And we know that whoever the fuck, oh god, what was the guy's name? The bad guy, creepy guy.
Kaneepo?
Kaneepo, yeah, we know Kaneepo has it, right? Or at least we know we were told Kaneepo has it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lycaena steals all the thunder of Teriani scene by getting a crit there at the last second. We'll do the town checks and then we will reconvene.
Cool.
Click. And when we reconvene, Teriani, you're gonna have an epiphany. Spending so much time in the library.
And the library causes epiphanies. That's what my years of working in one has taught me.
Success!
Library behavior.
Finally!
Finally, a success with nature. Okay, so rather than someone spending time trying to debrief these misanthropic jerks, Khali begins going and looking around.
Why did I imagine she chased the butterfly?
No. I was looking for a plant.
Looking for
And then there was a butterfly.
Hey, something smells like catnip. Some grew amazing here.
Well, yeah, and I think you might be very exciting, being a person who is a cat, and you looking around the forest. You know, you're trying to find signs of anything, and other than these like weird ripples that you see off in the distance, that you can't figure a way to investigate further. There's not much out to find. But before you leave, being the extremely interesting cat person you are, you're invited, like, some, like, children, very tentatively and nervously approach you and ask if they can pet you.
Sure, just don't pull the tail.
Don't pull the tail. And as you like, play with these kids and build a relationship with them just in the small time of bringing someone some joy, you're able to steer the conversation in a way where they describe this, tall, willowy figure that they refuse to tell you the name of. They just call him the Slim Man, and that you
Makes
can't.
sense.
Everybody knows what his name is, but saying it gets his attention.
Ah,
And everybody here's seen him, but what are we gonna do?
is that a rhetorical question?
You can't, like, you can't tell anybody what his name is, because then he starts watching.
I suppose that makes sense.
Is there a place where people tend to see him?
Yeah, that. Is there a place people tend to see him?
In the woods.
In the woods? Like a specific place, like a clearing, or just the woods?
The woods. Well, so when you wandered around the woods earlier, you saw all these, like, shimmering, like, just kind of weirdnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, they were, like, there's definitely a loosening of the barrier.
Okay.
That's going on there.
Someone should really get on that.
Yeah, I think that someone is us.
What was that follow-up we wanted to ask at the town? Someone said it. There was like, oh, we gotta go back to the town to ask this, but I don't remember what it was.
Shit, neither do I.
Dang.
I
Go back to the tapes.
don't remember.
All right. Khali, when you bring that information back to Teriani, that you've seen weird shimmers in land, the new information that Teriani found, his success that we didn't really talk about, you have put together that there is a pattern in both the Kaneepo sightings from the people in the Thinlands, as well as the shimmers that Khali recounts seeing in the woods there.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to be in a particular place, you could deduce that a portal will appear tomorrow, in a particular, like, potato patch in the Thinlands, poked around with on your time there.
Oddly specific.
Yeah. Well, you've all been there a couple of times. And, Kirrik is not necessarily attuned to that kind of thing, but Khali and Teriani and Lycaena are. And, now that they've been, like, more or less pointed out, and you've had the opportunity to convene and gather your notes about this, like, you're pretty certain that on any given night you could be at the right place for one of these, like, planar breaches to happen, and maybe, potentially catch Kaneepo slipping in or out.
And does he need to use the key to make these breaches?
Don't know that yet.
Wait, the key makes a temporary copy. Does the breaches pop up and he just throws a copy through?
We don't know.
We'll figure it out. Is it time to set an ambush?
Ooh.
Like, we definitely have more questions than answers, but I don't know that we're going to get any more answers. At this
Probably
point.
not in the way that we're doing it, no. I think we're going to actually go out and do things now to get answers.
Well, yeah.
Is it ambush time? Is it ambush time? The cat wants to hunt.
Oh, the cat wants to hunt. What a good thing to say.
All right, we'll stage an ambush.
Okay, we'll go to the next day, which will be the 5th day of investigation, where you've set a trap.
Do we have like the time down to the minute?
Yeah, more or less. It'll be like right at dusk. At like
Okay.
the transition from day
Yeah,
to
I
night is
see.
when the
That Twilight bullshit. All right, let's go.
Why?
Well, because I was considering the possibility of like throwing buffs on Kirrik's weapons like as this happens. Oh, by the way, at the beginning of this day, I'm going to switch out some of my spells.
Yeah, this is going to be a day where you're expecting potential breakouts of violence on Toil Day.
Well, since we're expecting violence, how is you said it's dusk? Is that gonna like affect vision of our one human in the group?
Oh,
Cool, I'll
I
prepare
have
dark vision.
charm. I should have used it.
What do you have?
Before you're so quick to behave, Dark Vision, I can't remember if Lycaena might actually. Because she's only half human.
Lycaena has low light. Kirrik
Low light, yeah.
Kirrik is the only one who has absolute.
Yeah, so I can just prepare dark vision elixirs to give to him.
Neat.
Well, yeah, and if you're preparing it ahead of time, you're making 2, so you can give him.
Yeah.
2. Yeah. Double.
I got a set of eagle eye elixirs. I don't know who I'd want to give those to. Maybe our most perceptive of the group, just to help them out even more. And then I have all my other prepared stuff. Did you reset the day since you said it was the next day?
I'll hit the rest button. So all of that research montage, which was super fun, it was 120 experience worth.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
I think it's probably better to wait to prep the ambush until next session so that like our preparations and our goals behind it are fresh in our mind when we actually do things.
Okay.
No, I agree. I don't think we should try to do it this game.
We've got a
Yeah.
location and we've got a time, and the only third part we need is you.
Yep. The location is Discord. The time is next Saturday at 1 p.m.
We're
Alaska.
being ambushed by
You're ambushing.
by a DM. Oh, we're ambushing the DM. Got it.
Please don't ambush my husband.
Hmm.
Unless it's like a surprise party fun kind of way.
I'm not even sure how we would manage that. Like, we're all in different spots. Well, I guess most of you guys are in Fairbanks, and then I'm way down here in Ketchikan.
About to say, you're the outlier here, dude.
Dude.
You need to move to the frozen Northland.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of a frozen wasteland. We're actually thinking about buying a house in this town, so.
I'm gonna buy a house in Ketchikan. That's fun.
I know.
Imagine being
We're
able
working
to
on
buy a house.
We're still
We're
waiting.
about to go talk to a mortgage agent, honey.
Not till next week.
Imagine. I can't. I have to wait till next week.
You didn't just casually message someone whose number you got, like from a friend. Is that not how your mortgages work?
I mean, that's kind of how they work, yeah.
Yeah, it's Oh no, at this point, it's kind of how much work needs to be done to that house right now is going to decide whether or not we can get it. Because we need a shitload of work right now. We can't afford that right now. Like we
Well,
can't afford like the down payment and everything on top of paying a bunch of money into repairs.
you have to decide, I think, what you're looking for. I mean, for better or for worse, I feel like Adam and I have sort of bypassed some of the normal starter home stuff because of our age and our current situation.
Well, it's
And
like
plus, because there's no starter homes in Fairbanks, Alaska.
We looked at one. We actually looked at one that was a verifiable starter home yesterday.
Oh,
It's like 215,000 off of Glacier,
well, that's
and
not
it's
bad.
a pretty
That's
decently
surprising.
sized house.
I'm gonna get
Yeah,
off the
I
internet for
had
the
this.
rest of
I
this
had this
conversation.
very funny
Okay.
Bye.
conversation
I mean,
Bye.
with.
goodbye, the compelling audience of the Gatewalkers Adventure Path that
We have a compelling audience.
we have a compelled audience.
I mean,
Oh.
the videos are apparently getting views,
That's so weird.
Bring
right?
it.
So seriously. So